And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to this week's Moderator Monday. I am Sarah, the Raging Tomato, bringing to you live another fun debate. My apologies for the delay. The Bratty Tomato was playing a game. They won 8-1. They kicked butt, so it was all worthy of a good cause, I promise. Anyways, the statement or the question of the evening is: are anti abortion laws effective at reducing abortions? Steelborn, would you like to kick off with your opening statement, please?
Yeah, thanks for having us all up here and finding this rowdy bunch of bad people to come up in here and do this debate. None of us are qualified enough to do this, but we're going to do it anyways. Uh, Tonight, my partner and I will be arguing that laws that ban or at very least heavily restrict access to abortion, if they are enforced, are/will be effective in lowering the abortion rates. The opposition is going to have to defend against a few arguments I'm going to make, which are kind of out of their handbook. If they took this view of bans don't work, then it's a logical conclusion they would have to argue that we shouldn't ban things like arson, theft, murder, SA, because there's no point. If we ban them, it's not going to make a difference. It's not going to lower the total number of any of those things. We'd have to argue that their advocacy for gun control wouldn't work. Tarring and feathering politicians, well, it doesn't happen, but not because of the ban. That has
I didn't
nothing
do
to do
this,
with it,
guys,
saying
but I
you
was
can't do that to people.
half expecting to come in here and just do the
They
gun
basically have to argue
control
that banning
or the
something
gun
doesn't reduce the
advocate
totality
argument, but
of
just
whatever
replace
the
everything with
behavior that we're trying to
abortions and
reduce
see if they caught
Not
on.
only is this blatantly false, but it's so easy to point out how this line of reasoning would lead to societal collapse. I can demonstrate in multiple areas such as Texas, Poland, Nicaragua, and Florida that the abortion rates have dropped and the birth rate has had an uptick. According to an article from the Johns Hopkins University, in a study examining the impacts on the 14 states in the United States that banned abortions between 2022 and 2023, they found that there was an unexpected increase of over 22,000 live births from their estimations, meaning 22,000 more than they anticipated. It's kind of funny how that works. Now my opponents might argue that infant mortality has slightly increased by about 5.6%. Sounds really, really high until you look at what the actual numbers they are that the 5.6% represents, meaning that instead of 5.93 per 1,000 live births, 5.93 babies would die. It's increased to about 6.2, so about an increase of 0.25. So now, as it is sad that infants pass away, natural causes are a lot less upsetting to people than the intentional destruction. So if you have more babies being born, the likelihood of some of them dying is going to necessarily increase. But again, this is all stemming from the idea that bans don't work to reduce the abortions that we're specifically advocating against. I'd have to say that those 22,000 live births or live birthed children would disagree, since they're here to tell you that. With that, I can't wait to get into the debate. And
I could win a
the
debate against 22,000 children, to
Thank
be
you,
clear.
Steelborn. Speak easy to you, please.
All right, so thank you to my partner for coming out. Sarah, I got to give it up to you for finding two people stupid enough to take the opposite side of this. So let's just rip the Band-Aid off really quick. We're debating whether anti-abortion laws are effective at reducing abortion. The answer is obviously fucking yes, right? If you ban something, you get less of it. Laws reduce the behavior, period, right? Pretending otherwise
I wish
is like
Speakeasy
saying,
wasn't here. It was just
like saying,
Steelborn.
do
At least he
speed
has like
limits
an
reduce
idea.
speeding? Of course they do, right? Some jackass is still going to do 95 in a school zone, but overall the numbers are going to drop, right? Suddenly, though, with abortion, people act like human nature magically suspends itself, right? If you raise the cost, you raise the risk, you limit the access, fewer abortions happen. It's economics 101 married to biology 101, right? Just like my partner mentioned, you look at the Texas SB8 hit, abortion numbers collapse by half in a month, right? This isn't just a vibe or a guess, that's math, right? And he mentioned also Poland, El Salvador, Nicaragua. These are all cause and effect, right?
I
One
cannot
thing
pronounce
I'm
Nicaragua.
guessing the opponents might want to cry about and bring up is like, oh, look at the coat hangers and horror stories and the back alley abortions that are going to happen. We don't live in 1960 anymore, okay? You can order Plan B faster than you get a fucking pizza, all right? So this myth of mass deaths in the alleys is outdated, right? What actually happens is just fewer abortions. So I'm going to give you an analogy to wrap this up here. Banning abortion is like locking a cookie jar, right?
I'm
Does
going
it
to say
stop
that
every
in
kid
the
from getting
short
their
term,
sneaky
it
hand in
reduces
there?
some numbers, and
No,
he's going to be like, cool, we win.
but a hell of a lot fewer cookies are going to disappear. And that is by definition effectiveness. Lock it up. The numbers prove it. So the real question is simple. Are we arguing from data or Disney fairy tales, right? Because the data is blunt, ugly, and inconvenient for the other side. And so let's get right into it.
Thank you, Speakeasy. Soy to you, please.
Yeah, hi. So I am sympathetic to Speakeasy's argument. I think it is very obvious that if you make something illegal, there are going to be number droppage in some extent. But luckily, we aren't being defeated by a sillily worded prompt here that says, does abortion laws reduce the numbers by any amount? Because the answer is yes, obviously. The question is whether or not it's effective in actually reducing abortions. And if you look at the Guttmacher Institute study on how this works, first of all, if you compare just countries where abortion is illegal and legal, there's actually very similar rates of abortion, if not lower rates of abortion, because of access to contraceptive, which when controlled for is actually the thing that is reducing abortions because it leads to fewer unintended pregnancies. Now, what they can't account for, what they couldn't possibly, say like this is definitely the case, is what happens when you change abortion laws. So for example, what happened when Roe v. Wade went away recently? And the answer is in the short term, yeah, you're going to see a drop when you limit access. This is of course true if you were to say, hey, like, if we just disappeared all the guns in this state, gun crime would go down to some extent. But what you're going to see over time is that there are people who are getting access to this in other ways, whether that be illegally, whether that be by traveling to other states, whether that be by getting mail pills. People still get abortions. This is not, unfortunately, a effective way to reduce the abortions in the long term, and it doesn't even raise the birth rates necessarily. If you look at the University of Houston study of, I believe it was of Texas. So ultimately, it just seems like the best way to get rid of abortions, or at least reduce the number of abortions, is to increase access to contraception so people don't have unintended pregnancies. Because the laws, while in the short term might reduce the numbers a little bit, don't ultimately stop abortions. If anything, people are just going to get more abortions that are unsafe. And yeah, you can call me moral grandstanding, but if people are going to do it anyway, and it seems like that's what's going to happen, I'd rather they not die and get a coat hangered. But as per Steelborn's point, 22,000 people say that they're happy, but I could win a debate against 22,000 children, so I don't see the point.
Thank you so much, Soy. Enemy Charlie, to you, please.
And not only did abortions in the United States increase, especially in states surrounding states with abortion bans, according to a study done by the University of Houston on post-ops fertility rates in Texas and California, abortion bans aren't even very effective in raising the fertility rate. There was a minor boost fertility rates in Texas in 2022, but those rates declined in 2023 because Texan women adjusted their fertility behavior by seeking out-of-state abortions or using a variety of methods to prevent pregnancy, such as abstinence or contraceptive use. As Soypil said, the only way to reliably decrease the rate of abortions is to ensure access to contraception, or by mandating gay sex only until someone is ready to have a child.
Fair enough. Thank you, Enemy Charlie. All right. So, a kind reminder to the audience, we will get through our debate. We will do our closing statements. Then we will read and respond to your super chats. And of course, as always, we will go into your favorite portion of the show, open panel dumpster fire. Lady and gentlemen, I leave the floor open to you.
Let's just get the red herring out of the way. We're not talking about fertility rates here. The argument is not about disbanding abortion, increase fertility rates. That has nothing to do with the debate. Totally a red herring, irrelevant, has nothing to do with what we're talking about. We're talking about if you ban a behavior and make it much harder to access said behavior or said practice, does that necessarily decrease the practice? I would argue absolutely yes. With any other example,
that it did not. Because we have the data, which we
did the abortions in Texas go down?
No, you didn't actually prove that, because using the national averages to prove the state laws don't work is like pointing out the U.S. weather report to prove it doesn't snow in Minnesota. Right? It doesn't make any sense.
Bordering states with abortion bans had an increase in abortions.
That's a good way to
we agree with that.
That's a good way to avoid argument.
Hold on. Let's reset here. Let's go one at a time.
They are leaving the state to have abortions.
So those states have banned it too.
States with
abortion bans, they are
having less abortions. However, that is because women are leaving that state to have their abortions.
Are the people in Texas
decreased the amount of abortions in the U.S.
Did it decrease the amount of
there's still a
abortions in
bunch of abortions
Texas?
happening. You haven't done anything.
Did it decrease the amount in Texas?
That's not the argument, buddy.
How about Florida?
It is, because again, when you point out the national average to prove that a state law doesn't work, it would be
Okay.
like pointing out the weather average to prove it doesn't snow in Minnesota.
Speakeasy,
It doesn't
you got to
make any
understand the
actual
point
sense. You have to
is
go
it
state by
effective?
state.
If you want to
Yeah, is it
argue,
effective?
would it be
Right.
effective insofar
If
as
every state
if
did
we had
it,
a
where would they go?
Hold
nationwide
on.
ban, I'm sure you'd see some significant reduction in the short term. But that's why we
Okay.
brought up that when you compare these countries where they don't have contraception, who also limit abortion, and I'm assuming you guys are not pro-contraception. Maybe you are, as Steelborn might be, but most people who make this argument for abortion are not pro-contraception. If you compare that to countries where they have even more restricted abortion access, we do actually see similar amounts of abortions. They're just not as legal. These people just get a lot of unintended pregnancies, get abortions some other ways. And the problem is, yeah, you're going to see a drop immediately, but the demand is not disappearing because you're banning abortion. You're just making it harder for people to get them there. In the same way that if you ban guns
That's
in
the
a
whole
state,
point
yeah,
of
of course,
effectiveness.
Hmm?
What
Do you
you're
think that those
is
laws
saying
were
that
passed
it is
because they
effective,
want
and then
abortions to
Yeah,
be
I have a
able to
question.
Hold
Can
on,
ban
hold on, hold
18-year-olds
on,
still
hold
get
on,
their
hold
hands
on,
on
hold on, hold on, guys. You're all talking over each
Yeah,
other, and
so what
I
you're
know
just
if I
saying-
can't understand, and neither can the audience.
Do
Yeah,
18-year-olds
what
still
you're-
get their hands on beer?
Yeah, all the time.
Isn't it illegal for them to have that? How do they do
Yeah.
it? I don't get it. So they violate the law and they do it anyways. This thing that they're not allowed to do, and if they're caught, they get
Yes.
punished for.
Okay, would you
So
say
we should
that?
just
Would
we
you
should
say
just
that?
totally just like get rid of the
Punished for.
drinking age, right? Because it's just not going to stop the 18-year-olds from getting beer, right?
Well,
I mean, I'm
that's
actually in favor of lowering
not
the drinking age,
abortion,
but that's a different
so,
conversation.
you
The
know,
point is not
yeah.
that, hey, obviously this is going to deter some amount of people if you make it illegal. I think an interesting analogy that Speakeasy brought up is, yeah, if we made speeding, making speeding illegal doesn't stop people from speeding in the same way that, like, we shouldn't get rid of speeding laws, because that doesn't mean, like, it's not an argument to get rid of speeding laws, but there are ways that if you were to restrict speeding, say, hey, what if we made all speeding over 10 miles an hour illegal? You would not stop people from driving over 10 miles an hour. You would get some chunk of people who would follow this in certain places, but unfortunately the demand for driving faster than 10 miles per hour is high enough that you're not really going to significantly and effectively stop people from driving faster than 10 miles an hour. And it seems that there are other ways to alleviate this that aren't restrictive abortion laws, like the contraception thing.
Do you think the overwhelming majority of women who seek abortions are, going to spend thousands upon thousands of dollars and suffer their, at the very least, their civil freedoms just to kill their baby? I'm trying to understand like the premise here. Like, I
So,
think if you
yeah,
make
dude,
it harder
if
to
I-
access,
if-
they're not going to access it as much. Like, if we banned M&Ms in every state in the United States, do you think the number of M&Ms consumed in the U.S. would necessarily decrease by a massive amount because nobody's going to spend
All
a
right,
whole bunch of money to
Steelborn,
go
I don't
get
know
them?
if you've ever drove to another state, but
Yeah, I have.
if I got pregnant right now and I lived in a state where abortion was illegal, I would take the time to drive across the border and go get
if
an
every state
abortion
banned it?
because it's a lot cheaper. Well, I'd get one any way I could.
Oh, so
I
you
have
would just
family
break the law. Got
medicine.
it. Okay.
Yeah, of
Yeah,
course,
you're just
duh.
saying, like,
God
holy
would,
shit.
I would,
man.
yeah.
No,
People still
guys, I
steal
know this.
Cars.
No.
Theft, we have theft
Speakeasy.
laws. Like, what you guys are saying
No,
doesn't actually
no.
fit your argument.
No.
If it wasn't effective, nobody would be. There would be no change.
I
You
don't
would
know
see
if you have
no
the mental
change from the
capacity to
law.
understand what we're saying at all.
Oh,
Right.
I don't
Okay.
know
Wait.
if
Let me
you're
break.
just
Speakeasy.
being
Let me repeat. I'm going to
allowed
repeat this
to
one
You
time
the
because I don't want to
female
repeat it
version
over
Hold
and
up,
over.
hold up, hold up,
Yeah,
hold up,
it's
hold up.
all you
hold up.
guys do. Oh, you guys can't comprehend when you're
You
back
just can't
into a fucking
comprehend
porn.
the simple
Oh,
words
you
that
just
we're
can't
saying.
get
Wait,
it. I'm
Steelborn,
too
I know you
smart
can
for
comprehend
I
this.
mean, brother,
Speakeasy
look
is
at it.
specifically the one who can't comprehend
All
it,
right,
just
let's
to be
find
clear.
a let's
Fuck
find
outta
a
here,
question and get
Okay,
there.
so I want to repeat this one last time. If you are making the argument that will the number of abortions reduce by any flat number if we banned it nationwide, the answer is obviously yes. The question is not
So you
will the number
concede.
go down. No,
That's
you
great.
got. I knew you were going to say that, but you got to wait until I finish the thing that you're not capable of understanding. Is
Oh,
it
yeah.
effective in getting rid of abortion? And that's why I brought up this Guttmacher study that compares countries with
So if a law
incredibly
doesn't get rid of
restrictive.
something, it's
incre-
not
Hold on, let him
effective?
finish. Let him finish.
So if you compare it to countries with incredibly restrictive abortion laws, you'll actually see that the abortion rate is very similar to how it is here, if not higher in certain cases, because the demand for abortion seems to go up with the amount of unintended pregnancies, which is not correlated to abortion laws. It's correlated to whether or not people are getting pregnant when they don't want to. And that happens when there's a lack of access to contraception.
Hold 1 second. If it doesn't completely get rid of it, it's not effective. Is that your argument?
It's
right
not
now?
just not getting completely
Yes.
rid of it. It's not even getting rid of it to
Yeah,
a point where these
yes.
rates are significantly different from countries where they have abortion access. That's the problem. If not, it's
Okay,
worse
so
than
Michael,
that.
if I want
okay,
people
so
to
at
stop
least
using-
half of you are going to say have to concede right now. No laws are effective, right, Charlie?
What?
No laws are effective, right? You just
he
said
got you
that
right
it
there.
doesn't completely get rid of it.
Well,
The law
we're talking
isn't
about the
effective.
data, dude.
No.
You're making a
Don't backpedal
comparison
now.
that's
Speakeasy,
inaccurate.
if we banned breathing, do you think it would get rid of breathing?
Yeah, that's just.
Well, no, I'm
This
just asking. I mean, do you
this
think
pivot you're
if we
trying to
banned
do. No,
breathing, would it
thank
get
you.
rid of breathing?
No,
It would
thank
just, that's
you.
a biological
Yes or
fact,
no?
obviously.
I'm not engaging with stupidity, right?
Well, hey,
You're just
dude, I
trying to
am.
Dude, I
I'm
don't
in
wanna
this
engage
debate
with
with
you
you,
because
so you
I
should
don't
at
wanna
least
save
grant
your
me
partner
the
now.
stupid question.
Reset,
Come on.
reset.
Sarah,
Ask
make him
your
answer the
question,
question.
Speakeasy.
Yeah. So again, if the law doesn't completely get rid of something, is it effective or not?
What would you need to see for it to be effective? What percentage drop?
It just has to have a measurable decline.
Okay, what measurable? Everything is measurable. If it decreased abortions
Um,
by 1, would that be enough? Would you call that effective?
Gosh. Sorry?
If it decreased abortions by 1 more abortion didn't happen because of this law, would you say that's an effective law?
Well,
It's
by
effective law.
definition, if it was in the where it was banned,
Yeah. So nationwide we banned abortion, and
That's
one person.
You're the idiot that took the
I'm
other
asking.
side.
I'm
I know you're
asking. I'm
talking to
asking
me
if
like
you
I'm
consider
dumb,
this to be
right?
effective.
You
Hold
took
on,
the
hold
other
on, hold
side
on,
there.
hold on. Get to your point, Soy.
That's my point. My point is this effective? Because when I consider effective, I would say, hey, these restrictive laws seem to actually put them in similar rates of abortions as places with no restrictions, if not having worse numbers, which I would say this is not effective at all. You're not even reducing it to a significant degree. I would say that's
How
not
would it be
effective. But if
worse
the litmus
numbers?
test is,
Yeah.
does one fewer abortion happen? I mean, well, shit, I guess we should just have laws that do one of anything, because there's so many effective things we could be implementing.
Hold on, real quick, Soypill. Do you think that if we
What a
decriminalized battery, that more people would get punched in the face for saying stupid stuff?
Oh yeah, of course.
Do you guys think that
So
prohibition
that
was
allows,
effective?
even though people still punch people in the face for saying stupid stuff, that law that says you can't do that is effective in
Do
reducing.
you
that
guys
over-
think that prohibition was effective? Because I would say that there's some things people
Yes,
do in, like,
yes.
certain
Just
aspects,
because
yeah.
illegal
It wasn't
shit
effective,
happened
bro.
doesn't mean it's
Got
not
rid of-
effective.
got
Less
rid of
people
in certain
drank.
areas, yes, prohibition was
All
Speakeasy.
right,
You
all
understand
right,
that?
all right, all
Speakeasy,
right.
why do
all
you think
right.
they got rid of
Moonshiners were going
prohibition?
crazy. I
You're-
related to
you're-
moonshiners.
If you're gonna talk about effective based on your feelings, then maybe you can say it wasn't effective.
No, it's
effective by
based on-
numbers.
on
It reduced
reality.
people drinking. Yes. What are you talking about?
It also increased rates of people brewing their own alcohol and smuggling it.
Yeah, it was like
saying illegal. So this is like saying we
There were
shouldn't have
moonshiners everywhere,
we shouldn't
man.
have borders.
people make crack,
we should
right?
allow
I mean,
you
like-
to bring
So-
drugs across the border because
People make crack.
still
You know that?
smuggle
They make
anyway.
their own crack. People do that.
So maybe we should ask the question: does it promote more illegal? In terms of, does it promote more illegal abortions?
well, by
necessarily
definition,
either,
Sarah, it
because
would,
I mean,
because
if
if you
it's
made it
still
illegal,
illegal
getting an
to
abortion
cross the
would
border to
do
get an
it, right?
abortion, because
Hold on a
then
sec.
yeah, it would
If-
be.
let's just
yes,
assume in a
that would
hypothetical,
be it
President
increases
Trump-
illegal abortions.
Let's say President Trump just said it's illegal to wear blue shoes. Effective tomorrow. Everybody tomorrow who wears blue shoes is now committing a crime. So necessarily it's going to increase the number of illegal shoe wearing in the United States. So if you make something illegal, any time that, that, so necessarily if you ban it, it's going to increase the illegal amount of abortions.
Yeah,
because
Sarah,
all of them would be
the
illegal.
better question there, I agree with you, Steelborn. Like, just by making it illegal, you are going to increase illegal activity because the demand for abortion does not significantly decrease. So you would have to say, well, I guess, because I know Speakeasy's litmus is if one fewer person gets an abortion, then it is effective law. But my question would be, yeah, like if you're, again, comparing this to prohibition, when we saw massive increases in illegal crime, brewing, like mob activity, and the reason why it was deemed ultimately a failure, and then we repealed it because it was like, hey, this is not doing the thing we wanted to do, which is to get people to stop drinking. This is just making it a big fucking hassle to deal with all these criminals. In the same way, I would call that not effective. I would say that these abortion laws would not be effective. But
Well, there's
I
a
guess,
massive
Steelborn, do you
distinction
have
here
a
that you're not
better
accounting for.
like definition of what you would call an effective law? Like
Well,
what you would
just
need to
real
see
quick.
to call it effective?
Real quick, I want to get this cleared up. There's a massive distinction between the consumption of alcohol in the United States versus abortion. Alcohol has been part of United States culture literally since the founding of the nation. You should look up the bar tab of the founding
So,
fathers. It was
Steelborn, I
ridiculous.
hate to break it to you, but people have been getting abortions since people were able to get pregnant. Abortion is.
Yes,
is
but it
something
wasn't
that
part of the
people have been
cultural
doing
identity.
since
Is it part of
the
the cultural?
cultural
What is the
identity?
cultural identity of
That
America
was-
that's like,
that
oh, I
was-
You
love
ever watched the
abortion?
beer commercials?
it
You ever seen all the
it was
American flags and
legal.
eagles and the
legal
hot
until,
chicks and
my
the
God,
buff
I think
dudes?
like the early
Like-
1900s. It's fine. And I would also
So
say
it
that
was
drinking
more-
is actually not super American compared to many European countries. We are actually less about drinking. Like, my God, you could make the case that Germany is very much a country that's very pro drinking, especially Bavaria, you know. But America, drinking, it's not like super integral to our national identity.
Yeah.
But it's
Also,
something that
commercials
people do.
didn't
It's something
exist in the
people have always
1920s
done.
because there wasn't TV.
No, I didn't say
Um,
commercial. I didn't say. I'm
Yeah.
saying like now, even now,
Yeah.
alcohol is still a massive part of American culture.
Not
Okay, so
really.
are you
Again,
saying
we
because
actually
it's
drink a lot
ingrained
less
in the
than other
culture, banning
countries.
it is not effective and wouldn't make sense? You don't think that it has some analogy? I know it's not the same because you don't see abortion ads, but there's a huge number of people. There's a big demand for people who want access to be able to terminate a pregnancy up to a certain point. It seems like this doesn't go away just by making it illegal. What you
Do
do
you
is
think more people would advocate for that? You know, they don't ban alcohol in the United States versus they don't ban abortion. Which one do you think more people in the United States would be prone to caring about, considering the fact that the overwhelming
yeah,
majority of the
probably more
population is
people would be
blue-collar?
against banning alcohol than abortion. I would agree with that.
Right. So
But
that's
I would
why I would
also
say
say
it's
that
much
the
more
majority
significant
of
in the cultural
Americans
zeitgeist.
are pro-abortion. The majority of Americans are pro-abortion.
I just
So I think
realized,
the
wait,
question
guys.
there
I mean,
is
abortion bans in Ohio failed.
for Steelborn. I think in terms of what he was trying to, if I can translate, abortion was more frowned upon prior, like it was dark, dirty, taboo, secret, like you didn't talk about it, you didn't brag about it. Whereas now in American culture, like there are women who actually do brag about having an abortion or they celebrate it, or
It
things
was
to
a
that
cultural
nature. And
taboo, yeah.
it's more open now. It's not as taboo. We're not morality wise like drawing in that way.
I mean, to be honest, it wasn't even that big of a moral thing, depending upon the time period you're referring
What are
to.
you
It was just
talking
kind
about?
of
What do you
something
think
that
the witch
people would
trials
do.
were about?
We're
What do
kind
you
of
think
like
the what
you're
do you think the
getting
witches were actually burned at the stake for? They were performing abortions. That's what they were doing. That's why the
Yeah,
Catholic
but like
Church
This
killed
guy doesn't
them.
believe
this
in
is
witch
getting
magic.
besides the point. Like you can bring
You have
up
a
the
link for that?
alcohol
Hello?
prohibition. It significantly reduced drinking. You can bring
Actually,
up
it
all this
increased
other
binge
shit you
drinking.
want. All you're saying is criminals are
Prohibition
going to take
increased
Do
binge
it.
advantage of the
drinking.
I just want to
market.
point out how
That's
ironic it
all
is.
you're
Your name
saying.
is literally Speakeasy, and you just don't know anything about how Prohibition was a total failure.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
okay. So
Also,
that
I'm
was a
not gonna lie, dude. I
great
think you have some.
argument, bro.
I know
Great
you have
argument.
like a tongue piercing, but it does make you slightly difficult to understand. So can you enunciate more because you're mumbling? I don't
Oh
know if
yeah,
you could like take it
you
out.
guys are so these are great arguments you guys have.
No,
Great
I'm not
argument.
arguing with you. I'm telling you that I'm literally having trouble
Yeah, can you
understanding
go
you
put a
because you have a
fucking
bunch of
mask on since
metal.
you're so fucking ugly? It bothers my eyes, please.
No one has
Oh
ever
my
said
Can you?
God.
that.
You
All
got a
right,
man's
reset,
jaw. You
reset.
got a
Actually,
man's jaw.
All right,
no
can we
one
You look
talk
like a
about
has ever
transgender
said.
woman. Can you
children?
go put a
Okay,
That's
mask on,
enough.
you
please?
Can we
are
get back
tonight. You're
to,
not
Yeah,
excuse
yeah,
my
yeah.
me?
ears. So I don't
You
want to hear
heard that
shit.
though, huh? You
You
heard
got
that though,
nothing.
huh?
You got
All
nothing.
right, that's enough. That's enough. Let's get back to the actual conversation. It's fun, but let's get back to the discussion. I don't know if you want to go back to the data or in terms of the culture or the prohibition, whichever direction. Somebody, Steelborn, why don't you send something out?
Yeah. Can I legally own a person in the United States?
No.
Is that because we banned slavery?
Yeah.
Did it work?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Not for a while,
Oh,
actually.
okay. You got
That's
me,
what
dude.
Juneteenth is about. Is they had to, go
Yeah,
in.
so again, the point is not that all laws are ineffective. The point is that we've seen in places where they implement specifically laws for this specific thing, and this is the reason I brought up the breathing thing, which is absurd, right? Like, obviously, you would never be able to ban breathing, but if you were to ban breathing, almost no one would stop. Maybe some people would commit like ritual suicide to make it not happen. But the point is that if there's a high demand for something, obviously abortion demand is not as high as breathing demand, you're not able to stop it completely. If not, you are now forcing people to do it in illegal ways, and it's not effective in actually stopping it in the way that you want to see it happen.
Physically
Okay, hold on. I'll just
live
ask
without doing.
real quick. Soy pill. I just have a question.
Like,
Do you think that if we
you
banned
understand
abortion,
this doesn't fit here, right?
Yeah, it is disanalogous, but I understand the point he's trying to make. If you banned
Thank you,
abortion,
Steelborn.
do you think there would be 1.5 million illegal abortions in the United States if there was a federal ban?
I don't know the number of abortions off the top of my head. Isn't it like
1.5 million?
Isn't it more than that? I thought it was like
No.
2 or 3 or something like that.
No, it's 1.5.
Everyone keeps telling me 2 million black babies died every year, so I don't know. But
That might be
yeah.
worldwide. I don't know.
Maybe that's the case. No, I don't. Obviously, the number would go down, and that's why I asked Speakeasy.
Oh, so then
what?
it wouldn't. Then illegal abortions wouldn't. Then the number of abortions would most definitely go down.
by some margin, but the point is, what is effective in actually reducing it? Is it going down by 1? Is it going down by 10%?
do I think that
If
if
it
women
went
are
down,
killing
look here,
for
I'll
trying
say
to commit
this: if
crimes, I'm
abortions
totally cool with
decreased
that.
by 75% or 50%, I would say this is a pretty effective law. But the problem is, again, this is why we brought up these other countries. Like here, I'll read this quote from the Guttmacher Institute thing. So if you look at the aggregate of like abortions performed in countries where it's broadly illegal, there are between 36 and 47 annually per 1,000 women, ages 15 to 49, ages where they're pregnant. That's not like a cherry-picked age range. And and in the countries where it's prohibited altogether, it's about 31 and 51 abortions per 1,000 women. And it's like, okay, so when you ban completely abortion versus where it's got some sort of like broadly legal status, it's pretty similar, if not even more in certain cases.
Well,
meaning that
there's a problem with that study, and here's the problem: is they're taking countries like Poland, which is basically effectively pretty much banned abortion, except for in the three what's the word I'm looking for here? 3 exceptions that the pro-lifers always try and offer. It's like, what if we made
rape,
these
incest,
exceptions? Yeah,
and
like
medical
those 3
exemption.
exceptions. The problem is Poland. If you know anything about Europe, you can drive to another country faster than you can drive to another state in the U.S. I mean, I think Alaska pretty much just entirely encompasses all of Europe if you exclude Russia. So the problem is they say, well, it doesn't really lower the number. That's because people from Poland just drive to another country, which is 20 minutes down the road.
Okay, wait,
It's
hold on. This
actually
is
much
kind of
easier
more
to
of
do that
our
in a country
argument,
like Europe
Steelborn,
than
but
it is if you did it
I'll
literally in the
concede
United
this
States.
if you think this is a concession at all. It is that if every single, if the world government had control of every single region on the entire planet and they'd said, hey, we'll kill you if you perform or get an abortion, I think there would be a pretty effective drop there. But the problem is we live in a multifaceted world with many different rules. There's different states, there's different countries, there's different methods for people to do this. And I don't think you're going to see an effective drop off of abortions unless there was some fascist crazy regime that was able to implement this literally worldwide, which I think you agree is impossible. And this is why in the same breath I say that banning all guns would be completely ineffective, because it breaks down to a states' right issue. At a certain point, you're going to have states that say, fuck no, we're not going to implement this at all. And you're going to have states like California that hop fully on board, but you're not going to see a significant drop in gun crime because you're going to have people traveling across state lines with guns. This is if you want to say if it was everywhere, yeah, probably that would be
Just
effective.
the United States. Let's start there.
If you had a nationwide ban, would you have an even more significant drop? I don't know what the drop would be if you banned it in every single state, but I think what you're still seeing now is that there's a lot of illegal abortions and there's a lot of people getting these pill ships, so it's even easier now to subvert that law altogether. I think what you're going to see is a lot of more people dying when they get these procedures, which I don't want to happen, but it would drop, I think, a more significant percentage if you were able to implement a nationwide ban.
Yeah, I think all pro-lifers would be totally okay
see it
with
bounce
the
back,
women who want to
just
go and
like
kill
we
their babies
saw with the
dying in
fertility
hospital. I
rates.
don't
With the
think they care.
fertility rates, oh
You're
my gosh,
both
shut up.
talking.
With fertility rates in
bring up
red
fertility
states,
rates.
while there was while there was a mild increase, we then saw them go back to declining. So again, that is because the women of Texas adjusted their fertility behavior to either use contraceptives more carefully, abstinence, or going out of state for abortions. So again, while there would probably be a short-term immediate bump, or I guess reduction in abortion rates, American women would adjust their fertility behavior to, have access to abortions in some capacity.
And I'm saying that if it was banned federally, do you think there would be a whole bunch, there'd be even close to the number of legal abortions that we currently have as compared to the illegal that would be happening if it was federally banned?
You mean with the legal number match? This illegal number matched the current legal number. I think you'd see pretty similar rates as per the study I read. Yeah.
Do you think
I think there would be a good drop off, by the way. Obviously, way more than the drop off in Texas. You would see a significant, especially because, look, don't get me wrong. I'm not going to make some inconsistent argument. I'm someone who says voter ID is a restrictive thing because if people don't have the ability to drive to their municipality because it's 3, 4, 5 hours away, maybe they don't have a car, it is going to be harder. And you would see a significant drop off of people in middle America who might not have access to any of these illegal methods, be it pills that are easily shipped into places with bigger port cities, people who can travel over the border to Mexico or Canada, get an abortion, or like you said in Poland, there is going to be a bigger drop off the harder and harder and harder you make it. But the question is whether or not it's effective, because what is happening here, and the ultimate through line, and why I don't want to do this, even if you truly believe it's killing babies, is that unless you are super advocating for some sort of contraceptive to prevent these unintended pregnancies, the demand doesn't go down. And while you are going to get, some drop off in people having abortions, what is going to happen is a lot of people are going to have illegal and harmful abortions, which is just causing more problems than I think both of us don't want. And if you'll allow me to read this, we found that in countries where abortion is legal and available to women on request, 9 out of 10 abortions happen safely. But if you look at the countries where abortions are most restricted, then only 1 out of 4 of those happen safely. So 3 out of every 4 abortions are going to be like some horrible, awful thing that happened. And I don't know if the number is significantly dropping off to the point based on the rates of all these countries where it seems to not really restrict it that all that much, unless it was worldwide.
But that's never going to happen. So we should operate in reality. And the reality that we're dealing with now is one in the US where abortion is a matter of states' rights.
Like when you bring up that it doesn't change demand, right? That women will seek abortions regardless, regardless. Demands are obviously going to persist, but it's the supply that's constrained. And that's how you get the effective, measurable outcome, right? That you bring up gun laws, you're right. You couldn't really make gun laws effective because the supply is what needs to be cut off. And cutting off the supply in a world of 3D printers and all this, it's next to impossible, right? But like anti-abortion laws that would stop you being able to ship pills through the mail, that we would have punishment for these things as well. These would be effective ways to stop abortion.
Again, like,
You
how are
bringing
you
up,
measuring
women are going
effective?
to
Like,
correct their fertility behavior by using contraception. Cool.
It's also
At
a lot
least
easier
kids
to
aren't dying.
smuggle pills than it is
Women not
to
getting
smuggle
pregnant versus
guns.
kids dying. I'll take the women not getting
Well,
And
well,
it's a
pregnant.
to
lot
be clear,
harder to
Oh,
prove
fuck.
if someone
Hold
has
on.
used birth control or has used, like a medical had a medical abortion, which is using the pill. It's hard to prove that they did that. They would just have a miscarriage. So again, it would be super duper easy to smuggle.
Why is it hard to
abortion
send
pills.
drugs through the mail?
I don't think it's that hard to send drugs to
It's
the mail,
not that
actually.
You
hard.
don't think it's that hard?
No,
No,
I
that's
know,
why like the
it's
whole
not that
Silk
hard.
Road
Especially,
existed.
I would say even especially like a pill
I
that's
know.
not like marijuana that dogs are,
big, yeah,
taught
they
to
can't
sniff
smell
out.
it.
It would be very. I would
Yeah,
find that to be
unless
very
they're opening
difficult.
literally everyone's
No,
mail.
no, because you would have a system that stops pills from being sent through the mail, to citizens'
You just shut
homes.
down the company.
It's not.
Well,
If abortion is
realistically
illegal, it's
speaking,
not
hold
going to be
on,
a
hold on.
company shipping them, dude.
Let's have some clarification here because you can get prescriptions via mail. I know Amazon even is doing it now, but there's a lot of pharmaceuticals where you can get it via USPS or even delivered to you, door-to-door services, so on and so forth. So I don't know if that would be a realistic approach, saying like just
Sarah,
shut all of it
to be
down.
fair, if Speakeasy has developed a magic abortion pill detector, my dad is a patent lawyer, and I would like to hear about it.
Yeah, I
need
bet
to
you
talk to your
would.
dad.
Got
You
me.
can also buy like health products from
like
other
you make it
countries
like it
that
would be
are
hard to
like shipped over
X-ray
to you.
the
So
mail
again,
to
it
see
wouldn't
what's
be that
inside of
hard
it.
to
It's
ship some shit over.
Wait,
Like,
no,
it
wait,
really
Charlie,
would
I do
It's
want to hear him
it's
explain.
legal.
I do
Hold
want to hear him
on,
explain.
hold on, hold
all
on.
the time. Like you can't even send
I
certain
flew with pills.
liquids through
I
the mail.
flew
Like you
with
guys,
pills and
this is
shipped pills
just
to the UK when I lived there, and I shipped
acting
them
like the
back and
mail
forth, and I
can't be
flew with them, and it
monitored
was
is
fine.
ridiculous.
No,
It
it's
was super
Speakeasy.
duper fine.
What we're saying is, unless you ban all pills, which is, I assume, not what your solution is, an X-raying and determining whether or not this pill is an abortion pill or a Tums or a Febreze or what's the airborne or whatever. Like, could you
Yeah.
explain like the exactly how we're detecting whether or not this is was it methylpristone or what is it actually called?
Oh, I can't
How do they
remember. It does start
determine
with an N.
if they have a suspicion about something illegal in the mail? How do they determine if it is that said thing?
Well, first, how did they have the
Soy Pill,
suspicion in the
answer the
first place?
question.
Well,
Don't
we
ask
have
me
to
a
take a
question,
step back.
answer
How
it.
did they know? How did they have the suspicion?
They scanned it and something looks off.
What looks off about it?
See, you don't want to answer the question.
No, I'm
right?
just
You're gonna
curious
do
how they
anything to
detected.
avoid
Where did the
fucking
suspicion
question.
come from?
You avoid questions like you avoid.
No, I'll get to the
laundry
question.
wearing
You just
that
have to.
thing
Well,
I want to make sure we're on the
6
same
fucking
hypothetical,
months.
and we actually get into the
Holy
hypothetical,
fuck,
right?
dude.
Like, how did they have the suspicion? Because I think you're
Yeah,
kind of
like, what are
letting
they
that carry all the
suspecting?
weight of your hypothetical.
They'd have to get a warrant, right, to go through mail.
Well, you would have to have reasonable suspicion too, or
Yeah.
I mean, even check marking if it's liquids, this, that, or another, batteries, things of that nature.
Yeah.
But again, pharmaceuticals are shipped left, right, center all day, every day, and that would be a very hard thing. I mean, I I could literally slip any type of pills into an envelope right now,
My friend
and
mailed a
unless
burrito
there's
once, so you can
and
just slip it in there.
Well, those pills are being manufactured by a drug company, right?
Not necessarily, and
uh,
that was actually the point I was going to get to, is that you say,
This
well,
is
once we made it
crazy. So, like,
illegal,
just to
that
be
we're
clear,
well, hold
Shut
on.
up.
Once you
think-
hold
you
on, wait,
think
hold on,
the
speakeasy, hold
mailing-
on, listen.
the
I know it's
mailing
hard. It's hard
service
to listen,
would
but
have
just
a
to be clear,
suspicion of a bomb, and they would say, "Wait, let's get a warrant before we make sure." Are you guys actually fucking insane? What are you talking about?
wait, okay, so
I mean, a
they
suspicion
detect,
of
they
bomb is
detected.
different,
Wait, to be
but a
clear,
pill is not
speakeasy,
a
they
bomb.
detected
a
bomb
fucking
residue
warrant
on this
to look
pill
into the
envelope,
mail
and
if
that's why they
something
opened it up.
illegal
Is
in
that
there.
how
Are you
they
guys
identified
insane?
whether or not it was an
What the fuck
abortion
are we
pill?
talking about?
Yeah, I mean,
So-
it's more of a bigger. I think they have other detections, right, to go through like liquids,
bombs.
bombs.
Thank you, Trash Dan.
And even at
yes,
that,
he is.
like
How do
pills,
they
like
train
even
dogs
if
to sniff cocaine? To find that, how do they do that?
How do
Well,
they train
cocaine
them
has a
too? Because they
distinct
specifically
scent,
are
I'm
like
certain,
sniffing
but,
out
like,
cocaine. I don't think you can
I know,
sniff
but
out
you know the exact
mifepristone.
same thing for the
I
abortion pills.
no,
or
I
no,
don't
it's
think
the same?
mifepristone
don't
has a
have a
chemical that
distinct
dogs can
scent,
distinguish
no.
from any other thing that is going to be mailed. That's kind of the point. And again, this is not going to be like the mifepristone factory in America or even like in another country where it's illegal to manufacture. What you'll see is like when people understand basic chemistry, they're able to manufacture these things in the same way. Like, hey, some doctors right now are facing 99-year life sentences for performing abortion. And in the past, when abortion was still very restricted, there were very, very, very heavy punishments on these doctors. And yet you say, oh, the supply, if we eliminate it, that doesn't matter what happens to demand. Well, the supply doesn't go away either. There's plenty of people, more than half the country, that are okay with abortions and are okay with doing it illegally and performing it for these women because they think this is okay and I'm not okay with it getting banned. And so
Until they
the
start
supply
getting arrested
doesn't
for it.
really go away nearly as much in an effective manner just by banning it. That's kind of
Yeah,
the
do you
point
think
we're
that there are
making.
plenty of doctors who
Prohibition,
think
where
this
There's
everyone
people
was
who
turning,
still
where
sex traffic. Like,
everyone
what
hold
was
is
on, I
this
looking
can't
the
hear
other
any
way.
of I can't hear any of you.
When prohibition
question for
was in
Soy Pill.
place, the majority of officials were looking away because they wanted to drink too. Like, this is not like abortion is so popular and so commonplace. Like, this would be like banning.
I know it's so
ibuprofen.
popular. It's just why it got
people would be
overturned
like,
I
what the
would
federally.
be
fuck?
like banning ibuprofen. You're insane.
It would be.
Yeah.
It would be as
Soy Pill-
difficult as banning
Soy Pill, do you
ibuprofen.
think
It's
there are
obviously
It
plenty
not
would
of
the
be
same
as
thing.
difficult as banning ibuprofen.
Sorry,
Like, I
oh,
hate to
wait, hold
break
on.
it to you
Stillborn's
guys, but a
asking me a
lot of those
question.
dudes, a lot of those politicians that pay all this lip service to being like, "Oh, I hate abortion," their mistresses and their daughters are getting abortions, dude.
Yeah, nice liberal
Oh,
talk.
Like,
good,
it's the idiot
good
minority.
argument.
It's the
Cool.
idiot minority that
Yeah,
thinks
go
that
ahead,
it's
I
like
prove it.
it's like a popular position to hate abortion, that people don't seek them out even if they claim to hate it. Like, holy fuck.
Yeah.
What was your question?
Stillborn, you had a
Anyways,
question.
Yeah, I did. Soy Pill, do you think that there are certain doctors that are okay with assisted suicide and that they would be morally they would feel morally justified in helping their patients with that?
Oh, yeah, probably.
Do you think there's a lot of doctors who don't do that because if they got caught, they'd go to prison for murder?
I think the argument would be whether or not there's an effective number of doctors that are prevented from doing this by making it illegal. And I don't know. I haven't looked into the stats on that at all. But probably.
Just based on your intuition, do you think that if they knew for a fact that if they were to get caught, they would go to prison?
I
for a
think there'd
long
be
time?
significantly more than the abortion law because it's a lot harder to hide that you did an abortion, or easier to hide that you did an abortion than it is to kill a person and then hide the body. Yeah.
Right. Like, what the fuck? Like, how easy do you guys think it is to kill someone and hide a body? An
I wouldn't say
abortion,
hide a
even
body. Do you not know what assisted
medical
suicide is?
abortions are, you cannot trace that shit. You just show up and you say that you had a miscarriage, and that's that. Like, again, it's very different.
There are
I don't
specific
think, I don't
pills that
know
are
if you
used
guys
for-
know
for-
how
for-
big
for
a
surgical
fucking
abortion that the
fetus
doctor's not
is.
going to pull out because you had a miscarriage.
What?
I said there in an early, especially if it's an early term, there are medical tools for a surgical abortion that the doctor's gonna have to pull out, and they're gonna have to like write all that down in their report that they had to pull all these special tools out to perform the surgery.
Early
Yeah, they
term
wouldn't write in the
abortions are
report
not
that they did an
surgical.
illegal
I said
abortion,
there are,
dude.
well, there
That's
are
the point.
They're
depending on how
not.
early
There's
we're, depending on
early
how
term
early we're
abortions are
talking
not
about.
surgical. They're
Okay,
medical.
How early are we talking?
can we all stop talking over each other? It really is very scattery in the headset. So I know if I can't understand what you're saying, the audience can't either, and it's just all chiming together. I'm sure you all have great points, and I'd love to hear them, and I'm sure the audience would too, but you have to take your turns. Okay, back to you.
Yeah, how early are we talking for when you think a surgical abortion begins?
Typically around like 3 months is when I think let me double check, but I think the like long like as far along as you can have medical abortions is something like 3 months.
What do you mean when you say medical abortion? I'm just trying to understand what
medical
you mean.
abortion? Are you having this argument without knowing the difference between?
No,
a
I was
medical
saying I
and
was talking about
surgical
surgicals, and then
abortion?
you said medical. I want to understand.
Yeah,
I wanna
medical
make
is
sure I'm talking
about the pill. Medical, and a medical abortion is the pill abortion.
Okay.
Surgical is when you go into the cooter.
Yeah, you know they have to do that as soon as the spine's formed, right?
No, it's about up to 10 to 11 weeks, so about 2 months.
10 to
Again,
11
which
is
is
about
When do
3
most
months.
women find out that
the
they're
majority
pregnant? I'm
of
sorry, what was that
abortions
number?
are
What's that number?
occurring. Most people who are far along enough to have a surgical abortion actually want the kid that they're trying to have, and so again, most
But when do
surgical
most people find out that
abortions
they're
in the
pregnant?
modern era, usually within the month, but it's pretty quick to get an abortion, depending on where you live. I guess if you live in a rural area, it can be more difficult, but you can get one fairly quickly.
Remember, I always hear from you progressives is that people don't find out that they're pregnant until like 8 to 12 weeks. Usually, that's when they don't find out because they
That's
just think they
not.
missed their period.
That's not.
Okay.
I
Well, neither of us are
promise
saying
you,
that.
people
That's why I was
figure out
asking what your
usually
position
a
is.
lot earlier. It's not 8 to 12 because I promise you that the things happening to your body would
When
be
can they confirm that they're pregnant?
extremely obvious. The earliest you can confirm that you're pregnant that I know of is like 2 weeks. However, wait, that would be because 2 weeks they start dating it based on when your last period was supposed to start, essentially.
Mhm.
And then it's 2 weeks after that.
Yeah, you can take a pregnancy test, but those have false
No,
positive
pregnancy
rates all the
tests won't
time.
detect that early. You would have to go get a blood test.
Typically, as early as missing your first period, you can go piss on a stick,
Yeah.
and essentially, if it's like the first day of your missed period and you haven't had it, you should be capable of pissing on a stick, and it's showing up as positive. Usually, it depends on the hormones. I think it's
For HCG, yeah, it
HCG.
depends
Yeah.
It depends on your HCG level, but they can't actually
Yes.
confirm that you're pregnant until about 8 weeks when they can do an ultrasound.
No,
No,
they can do a blood
They can
test.
blood
Well, they can do a
test.
blood
You can
test, true, but that just
confirm a
confirms
blood test.
HCG levels. That's all it does.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Right,
but the
and then you can
assumption
still
being that
Same
you're
thing
receive
with
an
probably
pregnancy
abortion.
pregnant.
does, just monitors HCG
You
levels.
you can still receive an abortion.
I'm aware that you can receive an abortion, but it's concerning the fact that most people can't even confirm. Most people can't confirm that they're pregnant until about 8 weeks. All they can confirm is that they're producing HCG, which can be caused by a bunch of different
I
things.
would
not
say
Well,
just-
that
the
that's
point is, most
inaccurate.
people aren't waiting to get abortions until after the ultrasound.
most
I
people are-
think I know some states vary, and just maybe for clarification purposes of the conversation, like Maryland here, before you get an abortion, you have to have an ultrasound. They actually put you through this whole procedure to promote pro-life in aspect. So you have to see the sonogram, you have to see the baby, you have to hear the heartbeat, and then they provide you with all of these different options besides just getting an abortion. So, like some states have different requirements, if that helps.
That's true.
Okay, someone just linked me some CDC information, but let me see. It's
Are you
about
pulling up stats from your chat during the debate?
Why not?
someone linked me a CDC report on when abortions take
That's
place.
great.
Isn't
I'm
that-
arguing with you guys, not ChatGPT, not the CD, or not whatever your chats are saying. I'm not arguing with your chat. I'm arguing with you. That's the fucking
Well, I
most bad
think
face
it's
shit
good
I've
to
ever
get.
heard ever.
If someone
fuck's wrong with
sends
you
me
people?
statistics, I think that that's fine.
I'll read your study
someone
if you
shows
show me it's stillborn. I mean,
I don't-
I'm
like,
happy to
I don't
provide
know.
a study,
Isn't
but
it better
only
for us
upon
to, like,
request.
have,
I'm not
like-
just- somebody send me this here. Let me pull it up for you. That way, you're not just arguing with me. You're arguing with all the people in the chat as well.
it's just
Okay,
a
well,
fact.
I don't
It's
know
not an
what you want
argument.
me to say, man. Like, I don't. Soy Pill and I are both streamers. People are gonna link shit and talk to us throughout the debate. Like, if you do stream, that does kind of happen. I don't know what to tell you,
I'm
man.
aware of how that works. That doesn't mean you have
Yeah,
to be
but
active
you
with the
also
chat
had
and
the
I
monitor.
mean,
will
do you
to
want me to
choose
type
to
it into
use it, that's
Google?
all.
Do you want me to type it into Google?
Just admit you need help and move
I
on.
think
Yeah,
it's.
seriously,
I
like,
think
you're
it's.
just
Hold
getting out of my
on,
help. That's
hold
bullshit.
on, hold on,
No,
children. Now,
they
come
work
on.
right
I think,
there.
Charlie. I think it's just deemed as bad faith. I know some other people, not necessarily here, but other big debaters have utilized stuff that their chat provides to them, and a lot of people call that out as bad faith. I am not. I'm kind of impartial to it, whether in either direction. But I think the notion is you should be getting those studies in advance and pulling all of this data in advance for
Well,
these
to be
types of
clear,
things or
Sarah, he had
whatever.
asked
Yeah,
about
like
when the
prepare your
majority of
arguments
abortions
instead of
happened, and then
depending
her
on
chat
your
happened to
chat.
link
didn't
something that she
know,
had already been
so
Googling. This wasn't like, oh, I didn't know have an argument for that, but now I found one because it was in my chat.
That's
This was just
Yeah, if
literally
it
a,
was
what
a
just
case
like
of
happened.
I don't
no.
know,
we
I
have
can look it up. That's
we
different than just
have
saying
the
somebody in my
we
chat
have
sent
the
me something.
internet. We have the I don't understand. We have access
You're
to all
not when
this
you're arguing
knowledge.
with me. You're
Why
not
would
arguing
we
with Google.
argue
You're not arguing
about
with
The
ChatGPT.
vibes
chatter
when
You're
didn't
we're
give
arguing
him
with
literally
an
anybody.
just
Use
argument.
that
They just
access
linked
to
the
get
thing
your
that you
stuff.
asked because you didn't have the stat yourself.
like
It's
I don't
just,
understand, man.
Wow, man.
We can just if we have a question, we can just look it up.
The thing is, this point you've been making for the last like 20 minutes has no fucking bearing and no weight for your side of the argument. So I don't know even why you've been making these arguments.
Well, he asked a
Do
question.
you
I
even
wanted to
remember the
answer.
prompt of the debate, Mrs. I'm too smart for everybody? What's
to be
the
fair, she
prompt?
just called you
Obviously, it's
stupid,
at
which
the
is
top,
much
dude.
more clear than how smart she is. So,
Yeah, she
Yeah.
said you guys can't comprehend this. I know,
which you
but
have
I'm
demonstrated
glad you're
once and
listening,
again that
Soy
you
Pill.
have not
I'm glad you're
not
listening, buddy.
understood.
I'm not
All
Yes.
gonna
right.
lie, I can
I'm
still
glad you're
do
Soy,
listening.
it.
Go watch
Soy, why
Netflix,
don't you
bro.
throw out,
Easy.
pardon me, Soy, why don't you throw out another thought for us, please, so we can move on
A whole different thought. I don't know. I mean, they
or
still haven't really
something.
contended with our whole point, which is it seems like this demand isn't going away and the supply isn't going down significantly. But it's really hard to have the argument if you're not going to give a criteria for what is an effective decrease in abortions. I mean, again, I would concede that if you were able to completely eliminate abortion somehow with these like draconian laws across the entire United States, which I think can realistically say won't happen, but you were able to reduce abortions by 50%, I would call that effective. Now, I don't think that's what's going to happen because one, there aren't going to be these like federal bans, and two, even if they are happening, a bunch of these states are not going to comply. So you have to contend with the fact that in doing these abortion bans, like Texas is doing, you're not actually getting the outcome that you want. And if they were to come on board and say, look, I think we should do a federal abortion ban and unlimited access to like birth control and contraception, I think that actually would work and that would be an effective thing. But the caveat there being that you would necessarily have to tie the access to contraception to that. What I think that is what the stats bear out.
Here, you keep saying I don't know what.
Thank you, first name, last
effective
name.
means. Okay, I'll try this
Yes.
again. Right, it's a restriction on the abortion that produces a measurable decline in the numbers of abortions performed within that jurisdiction. All right, compared with the level of abortions performed before said restriction. Okay, so all this other shit you're bringing up doesn't fucking matter. We're talking about what happens when you ban it. You can say, oh, they're going to go to another country. You think everybody's rich enough to go to another country? What are you talking about?
So again, if you're saying what's the effective number that's decreasing, and if your answer
didn't
is
give you a-
terrible number,
In one ear, out
then
the other, bro. Do your little hat, bro. Flick it.
so
It'll help your
again,
brain work.
if your metric for effective is literally any number is decreasing, I think that's incredibly conservative to say, well, if it goes down by 1, then it's effective. And if you look at, again, prohibition, reducing the number of people that drank, yeah, of course. But would anyone argue this was effective? No, because clearly that's the reason they repealed it. It did not have the intended effect of reducing alcohol consumption. So my
I'll just
question to
grant
you
all
is,
this. I have a
What?
question for you real quick.
sure.
Let's just say that we banned it federally, right? And there was like 500,000 illegal abortions. Is that effective now?
If it reduced it by 66%, I would say that's effective. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's not what's happened at all.
But yeah, I
Well,
don't
how
think
would
that's
we
what
know?
happens.
You
It's
haven't
not
federally
happening
banned
in the
abortion
US.
in the United States. It's
Well,
not the
I mean,
same as
we're-
Europe, where
we're
a country is the
we're
size of a
arguing
state.
about America right now, and we're talking about what has happened in
Yeah,
our
and it was
in our country.
22,000 more live births than expected.
Okay, and
So go
those
ahead,
rates
account
are
for that
going
one.
to go
Tell me
down as
where
they
did those babies
continue
come
to go
from?
down. As they continue to go down now. So while there was a little bump in the beginning when abortion was banned in specific states, that fertility rate is still going down.
I'm not
so,
arguing fertility rate. I'm just
you
saying
know,
that there
again,
were more babies
22,000
born
live births
than
this year. Next year, less.
The more babies born, you're
It goes
attributing that
down
entirely to the
nationally. That's
abortion
not
rate,
the
and she's
same
talking about how the
thing.
birth
It
rate is
doesn't go
actually
down
No, no, no.
declining.
It did. So if you looked at any of the links that I linked in the beginning, you would see that, yes, in states with abortion bans, while there was a mild uptick after the bans were put in place, they did start to decline
That's national
the
rates.
year after. No,
No,
in
it's not.
states with bans, if you look at the University of Houston study, Texas had a couple of percentages of fertility increase, and then the next year it started to go down. So again, this is where we're at. they
we
go
would agree
down.
that there's other factors other than just the limiting of abortion that would
Of
contribute
course,
to
yeah,
the
for
birth rate,
sure.
right?
But
Right,
again,
but
it
that you
doesn't
can't
seem
keep bringing out the 22,000 number and be like, well, that's the abortion thing. And then clearly when we look at the studies of directly controlling for these abortion laws and showing, hey, this is
Yeah.
not the thing that is causing, births to go skyrocket. It's kind of
I'm not even saying
why
it's
she's
causing
bringing
births
it
to
up.
I'm not saying my claim isn't that it's causing births to skyrocket. It's that there's 22,000 babies now that were born because they
Mhm.
weren't aborted in the states that had
You don't
abortions.
actually know that though.
Wait,
They-
I thought,
this-
I
this-
thought
the
you
study
just
that I
said there
know
are
is
other
because
other
they tracked
effects.
the
Like, what do you
states that
mean?
banned it.
You
They
don't know
tracked the
if it's
states that
because of
banned it.
abortion. You can't like hold us to that standard with you don't know if it was blah 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 blah. If it was related to abortion, and
They
then have
tracked
to,
the
like, you
14
can't-
states that banned it in the United States, and there was
Okay,
22,000
yes,
more live births than
and
they
now those
anticipated.
fertility rates are declining.
That's great.
So what
That doesn't
about
mean
it?
that those babies are being aborted. What the fuck's wrong with you? That does
You
not
know,
logically
stillborn.
follow.
You got to
Okay, but it
understand. You
also
would have
doesn't
to
mean that
establish.
because of the abortion
Charlie,
ban
wait,
that those
give
kids
me a
were
sec,
born.
Charlie.
Like if we want to play stupid games.
No, Steelborn, you would have to establish that these people have births that said, I would have aborted my baby, but because it was illegal, I did not, and that is why there is a baby now. That is the only way that this stat at all is supporting your argument.
Are there any surveys out there showing this by chance? Did anybody pull anything like that?
No, all we have are the stats on fertility rates in Texas and California in 2022, 2023. So again, in Texas, we see the rates go up a little bit in 2022, and then they also start to decline. Not at the same rate as California, but they're declining. We also have the stats on, again, abortions in states bordering states with abortion bans. Those rates went up. Which obviously we can assume that some of that was because of bans in surrounding states, so people leaving the state to get abortions, and then we do know that abortion bans in countries with complete abortion bans don't actually lead to less abortions, just unsafe abortions.
The fertility rate was higher than expected in the 14 states with abortion bans for the following groups: racial minorities, including non-Hispanic, Black, Hispanic, other races and ethnicities, about 2% higher than expected. Unmarried individuals, 1.8% higher than expected. Younger individuals, aged under 35, 2% higher than expected. Medicaid beneficiaries.
Is this all the immediate after the
4.4% higher
ban?
than
Because if
expected.
so, this
Hold
is
on, let
exactly
him
what she was
finish.
talking about. Well, I
No,
mean,
this
just
was,
like
This is the study she sent. Why don't you just shut up for a second?
No,
I
this
can
isn't
go
the
into
study that I
she
saw.
sent. This is the
Well, it
study that I'm
actually
referencing.
says the
Okay,
same thing in the study you
let's
sent.
just let Stillborn finish. Nobody let him finish.
Okay, well, I
Just
would like to
finish
go
his-
after him.
Yeah. Additionally, the impact in southern states was approximately 2 times higher than non-southern states. Quote from Dr. Suzanne Bell, PhD, from the Bloomberg School's Department of Population. These findings indicate that many pregnant people were unable to overcome barriers to access abortion services. Seems like
Right.
they didn't get fucking abortions and then they had babies. Isn't that crazy?
So since 2022 and post-ops, fertility rates in banned states declined 2% versus 3% in ban-free states. Post-ops, the public seems to have adjusted its fertility behavior in recognition of the transformed scene.
What's the
Adjustments
prompt?
include multiple factors. Many women in banned states access abortion in other states or through self-managed abortions at home.
Is the prompt that banning abortion will increase fertility rate, or is it that the abortions will go down? Which is what we're arguing.
you didn't listen to the last thing she
abortions
just said.
did minimally go down, but now they're continuing to go up in surrounding states. So again, this would indicate that women are leaving
In
the state to
surrounding
have abortions.
states, not
These
in the
findings
Abortions
states
indicate
in
that
the
with the
many
United
pregnant
ban.
States
people were unable to overcome
Not in the
barriers to
states
access
with the
abortion.
ban. Your
Yeah, in
original argument, it was
2022,
with the
in
state with the
2022,
ban.
absolutely, for
Yeah,
sure. But
backpedal
I
now,
literally initially said that. And then I said in 2023, the fertility rates declined, indicating that based on the study that I linked by the University of Houston, women were leaving the state to get abortions.
That doesn't logically follow
This is
because the
in the
fertility rate went
study.
down. They were going to get abortions. That does not logically follow.
That the fertility, because, okay, so if there's less children being born, we
Let me
can
ask you-
determine that people are either not having sex or they are getting abortions or they're using contraception. And this study does indicate that, like, people leaving the state to get abortions was a part of that, loss of fertility.
We're not even arguing that that's not even part of the case. But you're just asserting that that's the entirety of what happened. Is that the only reason the fertility rate went down is because people went to other states.
No, that's
rather
not
than
not at all
maybe they
First of
what I
all, that's
said
not
at
what
all.
she's
You had
claiming.
listened to the words out of my mouth.
Steelborn,
right,
Steelborn, I can help you out here because she read
right.
this out loud, and I'll read it out loud for you one more time. So adjustments. So this is the things that the people in the study looked at. Adjustments include multiple factors. Many women in banned states accessed abortions in other states or through self-managed abortions at home. Greater vigilance around contraception. Increases in permanent contraception through tubal litigation and vasectomy. Refraining from sex. Moving out of banned states to avoid these issues. Some who would like to be pregnant are choosing not to due to the fear that if they have complications, doctors will not be able to render aid. So there's all these different factors that are into it that are considered by the study. It's not just, oh, it's the fertility rate and we're basing it entirely off the fertility rate. They looked at all of these things. That's the point.
Right, which is what I said.
Yeah,
right. I know.
So
I'm
you're
just
saying
repeating
that
it for him.
They either got contraceptions or they just stopped having sex. So they did other things rather than killing babies.
Well, to be clear, one
So
of
they
those
changed their
factors
behavior
was
because abortion was
self-managed
Was-
abortions
I
and
think the
then
fact
going
that
to
it
other banned
changes
states.
their behavior should show you it's effective.
I mean, also stillborn, not all of the extra babies born were born because those women could not get abortion. How many of those babies can you determine were born because those women could not access abortion? Can you,
I don't
can
know.
you prove
Ask
that? Because
Dr.
otherwise,
Suzanne
we
Bell.
are kind of in the
How
same
do you
position.
determine at-home abortions were done? How do you determine that? They just
Surveys
said
and
it?
studies?
They just told you?
They just said it.
Oh, so it could be a bunch of lying bitches on there to fuck their study up. Good.
Well, I guess
the
you know.
fuck
I
we
guess
talking
these like
about?
people that
I mean, I
dedicate
guess
their
those-
life
I
to
guess
making
those
this data did
bitches-
not
I guess those
consider the
bitches could
lying
lie
bitch
about having
phenomenon. I'm
kids
so
'cause they
sorry.
couldn't
You
access
I
can
should have
use
controlled for
self-reporting
lying
studies,
bitch.
and we're using the math in the
I mean, I'm
state
using a
that
study
the
from
ban
Texas.
happened.
Well, hold
I
on,
was
wait. You're
using a
using the
study
math.
from Texas,
You're using
a
the math
state with an
speakeasy. Did you
abortion
consider
ban,
that those
so, I mean,
scientists could be lying bitches? Did you consider that?
I guess you know what?
Did I
Maybe
say
I
the
didn't consider
scientists,
that they
you
could.
moron?
Maybe, I don't know.
lying
Well, how do
bitches.
we know?
People
How can we believe
self-reported.
these scientists? I mean, can't
I
they just
never
make stuff
considered
up?
that women are naturally inclined to
Okay.
lie because they are devious whores, and that's why Eve ate the apple. Never
Way to just
considered
straw
it.
man every part of the position, or it was the fact
Yeah, like
that
that's
there are many
every
feminists
time
who
you
would
guys
most
get
definitely
quoted
lie
on
about getting
something.
abortions
You
to
never
make numbers
considered
go
that
up. You
those
don't
are
think that's
lying
possible?
bitches. You never considered that those are
Yeah,
lying bitches.
you're
Like, what do you
using
want me to say
self-reported
to
studies
Like,
that
that's
said
so
the women told them that they had a self-abortion at home.
Yeah, okay.
Hey, right, and so you're implying that
we're supposed to be
women
like, yeah,
women
that's
en
actually-
masse, all the women got
on,
together in
hold
their
on.
little back alley
They're
witch
just
meetings and
punching
said, "Let's
themselves
all
right in the
lie
stomach
about our
because
abortions."
They can't get an abortion in the state, right?
All right,
They're
next.
Also say
Let's move it.
Are
Let's
you
move it.
kidding? This Charlie person here, if she got this survey given to her, she would lie and say she did 7 of them at home just to keep abortion on the line,
I really
bro.
want to see your
What are
hairline.
you talking about?
Can you take off the hat? I want to see the hairline.
Oh my God.
Dude's got a ponytail.
My hairline matches yours, and my hair is better than yours too. I wouldn't do that.
Okay, take it off.
Just
then,
sit
princess.
yourself down,
Go
yeah,
on,
with your
Rapunzel.
little fucking
Take off the hat.
man
Take it
jaw
off.
over there.
Only if Soy Pill takes off the hat.
I'll take off the
Soy Pill
hat
has hair.
after Speakeasy takes off the hat. I promise.
Yeah.
Listen, this
Oh.
He's
flirting
not
you're
gonna
doing,
do it. He's not
not
gonna do it.
interested, right?
Ooh, ooh.
Not interested. I'm married, Charlie. Sorry.
Balding,
Quit this
and
flirting
no
shit.
jawline.
Ain't
Holy
interested.
fuck,
Oh,
dude.
balding fallacy, not an
Fucking
argument.
Miserable.
Okay, all right. Who's got another point to make, please?
I'd love to hear them contest my like prohibition point. Like I think that was a pretty interesting one.
I don't think that the prohibition was necessarily effective. I think that it was effective in getting a lot of the law-abiding citizens to stop drinking. That's true, but you also just basically funded a bunch of organized crime through the mob and the mafia.
Okay, but
Like, I
why
think
would
that
you
that is
say
the
why would you
case.
say
I
you wouldn't
agree.
see a similar phenomenon? Is it literally just because more people want alcohol? Like, would you not see at least some scale representation
Yeah,
of
I think that
illegal
it actually,
abortions
no,
at
I don't
this?
think it would be the same, and here's why. Not only that, Christians have no moral problems with alcohol whatsoever.
Oh, that's not accurate at all. There are.
What was the
certainly
first miracle
Christians
Jesus
that
performed,
do-
lady? I just want you to answer that real quick.
do
What was the
have
first miracle
issue
Jesus
with
performed,
alcohol.
Charlie?
Mormons, for one, I believe.
I don't think they're
that's
Christians
one
anyways.
sect of Christians. Well, that's a no true Scotsman fallacy.
No, it's
That
not
goes
true.
like
No true
this.
Scotsman fallacy. I have specific criteria for who is and is not a Christian.
Okay, well then that's silly.
No, it's not.
No, we
It
can
is.
say. I mean,
There-
clear.
there
Look,
are very
look, that Christian
specific-
MAGA guy
I'll
rammed his
demonstrate
truck
this.
into that Latter-day Saints church and shot a bunch of them. Clearly, they don't
That
see
was
each
a
other
real
as the
Christian.
same. To be fair.
I'll
That was a
demonstrate this
real
real quick.
Christian
I'll demonstrate
who
this real
runs
quick,
that
Charlie.
church in the
Hey,
Mormon church.
I don't believe Jesus Christ ever
See that first
existed,
thing
and I
you
like
do,
to
go to
curse on
laughing
babies
about
for
people
fun. Am I a
dying.
Christian?
That's the left for you.
You
Clown
don't believe
show.
Jesus Christ ever existed?
That's why you wear the
I-
No, no,
clown
no,
hat,
no.
bro.
I
It-
don't believe
it
he ever
suits you,
existed,
buddy.
and I like to curb stomp babies. Am I still a Christian?
I feel like believing in Jesus is like kind of the point of.
Oh, so there are
That's like
criteria
the-
to who
that's
is or
like
is not
what-
a Christian. It's not
Yeah,
just whoever
man,
fucking
and
says
it's
it.
that, and it's
Well, wait,
that.
do
It's the
Mormons
whole-
do
That's the only
Mormons
one.
not
You just
believe
have
in
to believe
Jesus
he
and want to
existed.
curb
You
stomp
just believe that.
babies?
A bunch of atheists believe he
Mormons
existed.
do believe in Jesus, man. Like,
All
I
right,
don't-
So do
I
a
don't
bunch
we
of
are
atheists.
we
They also
are
believe Jesus
so
existed.
far off track.
Bro,
Bring it
what are
back
you
around,
talking about?
please.
Yeah, the first miracle Christ ever performed was making wine for a celebration at a wedding. Christians do not find alcohol to be immoral.
Didn't
I mean,
is
it
it
depends
true?
on the
I'd have to
Considering the
look
fact
this
that the
up, and I don't know if
overwhelming
a
majority of
chatter
Adventists are
at
also
that time
opposed to
was
alcohol
Christian.
as well. So Mormons,
Steelborn, did
Seventh-day
Christians not actually like drive prohibition? Like they were like the Puritan people? Like isn't
No,
that
it
like
was
kind of
women. It was the women's temperance movement that drives
Christian
prohibition.
women?
Yeah, it was women.
What does all this matter to the debate? Prom?
I actually agree. I don't think that whether or not religious people would reject or alcohol or not has anything to do with whether or not you would see a similar phenomenon of prohibition if you were to ban abortion nationwide. So
Yeah.
Is the majority of the United States religious?
yeah,
I don't
excuse
know,
me.
actually.
Pietistic Protestants
You
were the
would
ones
see
who led prohibition.
cartels start taking over abortions. Is that
So,
what
like,
you're
what
saying?
about Catholics and like
If
Catholic
we
and
had
Orthodox
if
Christians?
we had a
or
nationwide
Muslims?
ban on abortions, we would have speakeasy abortions. Is that what you think?
I mean, literally, this is what
You're a
happened.
moron,
This is
dude.
literally what happened when abortion was more of a more illegal in places. You would have doctors doing
Oh yeah,
yes,
why didn't it happen
speakeasy
before
abortions.
abortion was available? Why didn't it
It
happen
did.
before
It
abortion
literally
was
did.
available?
There's like tons of
Oh
accounts
yeah,
of this
there's just
happening.
that great
There's also
epidemic
a
of
shit
people
ton of
aborting their
historical-
children before
Yes.
abortion.
Yes.
Weird.
Yes, there
Yes,
was.
yes,
And
this
even
happens
before
I
all the
know,
time.
I know.
Yes.
You know what we did?
Doctors,
We did those
midwives
awful
would
You're
do it.
things.
It
We
was
took
the,
those women who were
what
killing
is
babies
mugwort? The
and we
mugwort
burned them at the
plant is
stake. We're
frequently
horrible
used
people. I
as an
know.
abortificant. So there's been like traditions around the world. People have been
Pointing out
receiving
these
abortions.
like the
Abortion also
minuscule
wasn't
against
always
the
illegal in
majority
You
the
know,
US.
there's
doesn't.
African
I think
tribes that
before
just
the
leave babies out for
1900s
lions at night. Did you know that one?
Yeah, I
happened
do know
too?
that.
Is that
So
bad?
before the
Did they do that or no?
1400s,
Should Christians go in and tell the Africans they shouldn't leave their babies out for lions?
man, I don't know. That's above my pay grade. Anyway, I do think that
Christians shouldn't stop Africans from leaving their babies out for lions. Wow, this is
again,
fucking crazy.
abortion wasn't illegal in the US. Let me double check because abortion was legal up until like 4 months, I'm pretty sure. If you
No,
were
not
not
national.
I think that was
it was
state.
a state. Thing.
um,
That was a state's jurisdiction thing. It was banned in most of the United States.
Ask
No,
your
this
chat;
was
they
like-
might be able to tell you.
yeah.
Got him.
I mean, yeah, they could actually tell me things. Speakeasy, I'm sorry if you're not a streamer or you don't have enough of a chat to like send you
Yeah,
some
I'm
links.
definitely not a streamer. No chat over here. You're right.
I
And
don't
this
know who
has
you are.
what to do with what I said?
Hello to
Well, you're-
Speakeasy's non-chat. Hi
You're
guys.
pissy about it.
I'm definitely so pissed. You got me right, Chuck.
I won't take the hat off. I mean, she kind of clocked you there. You're
I
pretty
kinda
upset
got
about
you,
that.
Man. I got you.
I think I have
Yeah.
a thumbnail with you, not with a hat on though.
Can you paste it in the bottom right here, Sarah?
You
The
go
picture speaks with no hat.
back. I'm pretty sure it's. I don't know if I might have had to remove that.
I mean,
one,
I
but it
can
would
make
still
my
be
audience
over
see it,
on
but I want
Rumble.
everyone to see it. You know?
Yeah, I'm pretty positive. The last thumbnail, what you did the one-on-one with Mel, and it was there was no hat on that picture. I remember because I pulled it from your, I think, Instagram or something.
Hairline.
Can
Yeah,
we,
just
go
look at
can you
his
confirm the
Insta.
hairline?
I do have a question for Charlie. Charlie,
He
do you
had
think that
he
if,
had the rose, I think. Sorry, go
Charlie,
ahead. Go ahead.
sorry.
Get us back on point.
Charlie, do you think that if if there was a federal ban on, let's just say, handguns in the United States, that the
Mhm.
number of people who owned handguns would necessarily go down?
I'm not sure because I do think that there's like already a lot of guns in the US circulating. And I do think that, like you said, 3D printers. And also I think
never
that
said anything about 3D
black
Speakeasy
markets
said it.
selling guns
Oh.
would crop up everywhere. So again, I think that you would have to get rid of all the handguns in the US and that would be extremely difficult because
Well, do you
we
think
have
like
a lot of-
law-abiding citizens would get rid of them at least?
No.
I don't think that
I
there's
know a
such
lot of
thing as a
law-abiding citizens
perfectly
who would not
law-abiding
follow the
citizen.
law
I
if
mean,
they
Well,
banned
then you
most
have
of
to
us
account for
sleep,
Australia
most
at
of us
that point.
jaywalk.
Any of these countries that have banned firearms and then nobody has almost nobody has firearms?
When did they ban them? Because the U.S. I think is unique in the fact that we have more firearms than people. Is that
Yeah,
correct?
we have like 1.5 firearms per person.
Yeah, we have a lot of guns, man. That's a lot of guns. I think it
Hell
would be
yeah.
very difficult to get rid of them completely and totally. So maybe in like 20 years, the amount of handguns would decrease. But
Okay.
I think it would be exceptionally difficult to,
Let's just say it's 20 years, and then like let's just say like 90% of the handguns are gone at that point. By 20 years time, was that law effective?
I mean, I would,
if that
yeah, if
happened,
90%
sure.
So
of
do
the
you think that
guns,
if
yeah.
we
Yes, that
federally
would be
banned
an effective
abortion
law.
and then we started societally shaming women who go and get abortions and go like, "Shout my abortion," wear the pink hats and everything like that. We shamed those people for being
Well,
gross
you'd have to get
degenerates and
everyone
telling
on
them they
board with
shouldn't be
that.
killing their children. Do you think that over the course of maybe 20 years, the number of abortions would decrease?
Well, yeah, stillborn, I agree with this, but you understand, but you saying that the shaming is doing so much of the weight carrying here, where it's like, yes, if every single person was on the same page as abortion, then maybe we could do this after 20 years. And it's not just the law, it's including the societal pressure where everyone agrees that this abortion thing is abhorrent and we should shame them. But that's not the case. Well, you just said how are we going to shame these people if half the country don't think the way that you do and don't want to shame these people? Like, obviously, this is not going to be effective.
Well, do you think that
Like, most people don't
do you
care
think when
then.
like the let's just like for example gay marriage when that first started, do you think that the overwhelming majority of the country was in support of it?
You mean like in 2010, or like, do you talking about like back when like Gavin Newsom was marrying people like illegally?
No, let's say like when Obergefell took effect. Like, do you think that like the overwhelming majority of the country who was still Christian at the time, they were massively in support of this, or do you think that the quiet or the loud minority actually voiced their opinions and started shaming people who were against it?
I
do
know
we
it
have
wasn't an
stats on
overwhelming
this?
majority, but yeah, I can look up. I don't know off the top of my head.
Just-
Do you mind
just-
if a
just
chatter
based
gives
off
it to me, or am I allowed to Google it? I don't know what the
I don't care if you Google
polls.
it. I'm just asking. Like, do
Okay.
you think the overwhelming majority of the U.S. was in support of it? I would say no. I don't think that they were.
So okay,
Nah,
yeah, then
so
I see what you're
gotta
saying.
ask
So you're
Chuck's chat, buddy.
sorry.
You gotta ask Chuck's chat.
Chuck's okay. Charlie, yeah, can Charlie's chat give me the opinion polling on a Burgerfell when it was passed, please? But before I answer that, I see what you're trying to say
Chat,
is
can you do this?
if a minority of people, say the anti-abortion Christian right, are to shame people, eventually they could influence opinions along with a Supreme Court case to the point where it becomes the overwhelming norm. Is that kind of what you're getting at?
Yeah. Like, do you think that could be the exact?
I think it could happen, but I just think there's enough people that are very vehemently pro-choice that this is not going to be something that you can just easily influence through like culture and shaming. Like I don't see this realistically
plenty of people
happening.
that are vehemently anti-gay marriage.
Well, yeah, but the difference being some people have it ingrained in their system that like, yeah, I think that gay people are wrong, and like there's really nothing you could do to change those people's minds. But a lot of the
And yeah,
people
I
that
think
did
there's nothing
change
wrong
their
with killing
minds
gays.
had very kind of like closeted, like, I don't really like these people for reasons that I can't properly explain. And then when they meet and are introduced with gay people in the culture, they realize, oh, I don't really give a shit if these people get married. So I don't think these things are analogous in the same way that like, I don't think the reason a bunch of people are pro-abortion, they'd suddenly become anti-abortion if you're like, hey, look at this abortion video, like, isn't this so gross? And it's like, well, yeah, but I still think it should be okay for them to get it.
Well, there are plenty of people like I've this is gonna be anecdotal, but I've spoken to plenty of people who say, I agree with your arguments against abortion, but I see, like the emotional appeals that the pro-choicers make, and it tugs on the heartstrings, and you have to like it. That makes sense. Like, these people get emotionally blackmailed into agreeing with these people, even though they know it goes against what their reason is telling them. I
Okay.
think that's not the case.
But how are we going to get? I mean, apparently these emotional blackmailers are really powerful. How are we going to overcome this? Is
Yeah.
it like the laws get passed and suddenly these emotional blackmailers are going to just disappear? Like, I don't know. Like, it seems like
Do you
it's
think
pretty
there was
effective.
people who emotionally blackmailed for gay marriage when it first happened?
I don't know if I would call it
Before it
emotional
happened?
A lot of
blackmail,
emotional
but
blackmailing
I
will
think a
still
lot of people said, "Hey, don't you care about me and my ability to be happy and united
Yeah,
with my
like
partner?"
what just love is love, man. Like, it's just gonna go to
I
that,
think
man. Just love
sometimes
is
people
love.
have
Like,
their
you
minds
should-
changed. I don't think that's necessarily blackmail. I think it's just like minds being changed sometimes. Also,
if
okay,
we're not
my
legally
chat
married,
actually
then
pulled up a
Wait,
poll on
Charlie's
gay
chat
marriage.
is speaking, guys. We all got to
So
debate them now.
My chat did pull up a poll. 2015, 60% of Americans supported same-sex marriage. 2014, 55%. 2013, 53%. 2012, 53%.
Obergefell was 2010, so just read that
2011,
one. I'm curious.
45%.
Right?
2010, 52%. So
Oh no, it's 2015. Oh my God, what the fuck? Wow,
No,
so
it
it
was
was a majority
2014,
5 years before Obergefell was passed. That's crazy. It sounds like it's not that analogous.
No, it seems like people manage to, through rhetoric and the very, very, very loud minority of homosexuals in the United States manage to, basically just yell at people and socially shame them if they
It's
were
not a
against this
minority.
behavior.
All homosexuals are annoyingly loud, Steelborn. You and I both know that. Come on.
They are still the minority. They're a minority in the country.
Oh, compared to everyone else. Okay, I thought you meant like minority
they're like,
gay
what,
people.
Like I think in totality, like 1%, maybe.
Yeah, it's not many.
But they managed to get this law passed that made it federally legal. Isn't that crazy?
Do you think they're just so good at emotional blackmail that they got 53% of the country on board, or that
all
most?
Of it was emotional blackmail. I'm just saying.
What percentage would you think is attributed to that, and what percentage is people just don't care if gay people get married?
Blackmailed and people going like, actually, it's not that big of a deal.
If we're not legally married, then I can't see my husband in the hospital. That's not emotional blackmail.
No, that's a realistic description of what can happen if you don't allow them to be spouses in certain cases. Yeah.
Really? Because that's not the case. You can make somebody your medical proxy in like 10 minutes at a lawyer's office. Like,
okay. Oh, hey, I know you're in the ER. I'm gonna go to find a lawyer at 3 a.m. and get a fucking medical proxy exemption.
I think he means by preemptive planning. I mean, even I could do that right now. Or not
now, I can make Sarah my medical proxy with.
Sarah's not gay.
Oh,
right,
actually,
Sarah?
Zoom legal, you probably could, and then just having it filed, yeah. But
yeah, I don't know. I just empathy is not emotional blackmail. You can have emotional blackmail that is tugging on heartstrings.
Really bad idea.
It's what?
I think empathy is not inherently bad, but if you're ignoring logic for empathy, sure, yeah, but that's not what's happening here. So,
is your hair red, Speakeasy?
Oh, is he doing it? Is he taking off the? Okay. Charlie, I gotta go with Speakeasy. This man has pretty fucking luscious hair. I'm not gonna lie. You talk a lot of shit, and this guy's got fucking locks, bro.
Hold on. Speakeasy, did you grift your chat to pay to make you take off your hat?
well, my wife asked me to do it to show her how stupid she is over here.
I gotta say, if I ever concede a W, it's that Charlie, this man has beautiful hair.
He does have nice hair. I'll concede that.
You thought he was gonna rip it off. There's gonna be some like bald guy, and he comes out here with the fucking Fabio,
dude. He wouldn't take off the hat. It's only bald guys that are scared of taking
It does
off
raise
the
questions.
hat.
Why were you so adverse to it? You just don't like
why were you
listening to
scared of
women,
taking
but I
likes
guess
his hat. What's wrong with that?
I don't know.
Well,
man.
because I'm not Chuck's dancing monkey. That's why. My wife
Yeah, that's like when the guys ask a girl, like when they say get up and do a twirl for me. It's a compliance thing to see if you'll do it or not. That's why I never do.
I just think Speakeasy should smile more. I don't know.
Yeah.
I've been smiling this whole time. I mean, you conceded the debate in your opening. Every example we give you, you guys have conceded.
I don't think that happened.
Oh, Charlie, I forgot. So you haven't debated with Speakeasy, but you have to declare victory every like 10 minutes or so, or else sometimes
we win.
I forgot. We won. We did win the debate though, right?
Yeah, you conceded to way more
arguments.
We have yours.
Yeah, but just because you're too thick to understand what we're saying does not mean that we're not good faith enough to.
You're just too stupid to understand the very basic concept that we're saying.
Hey, when we're right, we're right.
If you ban the behavior, it's not really going to ban the behavior because people are still going to do it anyway.
I mean, you have yet to contend. You have yet to contend with my aggregate study that shows that the rates are similar.
All right. I'm pondering whether we have any more points to go through. We are kind of coming around a circular portion at this point. If you want, we can go ahead and move to close. I know it's kind of short-lived, but I don't know if anyone's going to get anywhere further or if somebody does have another point that they want to make. Otherwise, we can do closing statements and just hit open panel early on, and hopefully maybe some new points can get brought up on the panel. It's up to you guys. You all have to agree one way or the other. Otherwise, we go by default of the original plan.
I'm fine with the open panel. I don't really have anything else to say. I feel like we made our points. We have the
Not just made our points, Charlie. We won. Just to be clear, we won the debate. Just to be clear,
I feel like we actually dominated.
No, in fact, we won. We won before the debate started. In fact, I want to say that.
I will say I did expect the other side to bring up like the stats in Canada because it actually speaks to our side, and usually people on that side think it speaks to theirs. But in Canada, it's just like a free for all. It's been decriminalized for the longest time now, and what you see is the abortion rates stays the same. Nothing fucking happens when you do nothing about it. If you do something about it, like you see in the States, shit changes.
Wait, you're saying if you completely lift all restrictions on abortion, abortions don't go up?
No, they go up and
It's-
then they
it's-
stagnate at that
and then
really
yeah,
high rate.
it goes up and stays there, doesn't change.
Right.
I
And what
almost
is
wish
I
we
guess I'd
had
have to compare that to Americans.
done
But
a conversation around propaganda and its effectiveness. I don't know, like metrics wise, how that could be shown, but I feel like propaganda is a very vital piece that, and we weaponize it in some good ways, some bad ways. But I feel like that would have been that would be more effective in
I
a
think
lot
the
of
most
ways.
effective demonstration of propaganda is cigarettes.
Yes, yes. Why
You
why
know,
did
like
we
the
take
old, you
Joe
guys remember
Cool
the old
down?
Superman, the old Superman episodes where he'd fight like that guy that was like smoky, and he would just like crush cigarettes and say only like heroes don't smoke or something like that, and cross his arms, and then a bunch of kids stopped smoking after all the Superman commercials.
Hmm. But I mean, even at that, why do we ban advertisements of people drinking? Like you can show alcohol, but you can't show them actually drinking on advertisements. And then also like getting rid of Joe Cool. Even you can't do cigarette advertisements, so on and so forth. And I think a lot of that is because we know and understand how impressionable our youth are to advertisements, bright lights, cartoon characters. Joe
You mean like
Cool.
the Budweiser frogs?
Budweiser, a Budweiser. My favorite. I remember that one. See, it's so impressionable.
Look, I should have been
Um,
born in the '70s. Is all I'm saying, because
Yeah, like the
all my-
cigarette
all
packs
this
in
stuff is about
Canada, they just show you like gross pictures of what cancer looks like on the lung, or people with a big hole in their throat to just like kind of scare you away from trying. And
yeah,
you've seen
they do that in
you've
Germany
actually
too. But
seen
those
less
kids
people
smoke.
smoking cigarettes now.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
to be clear, I looked up this Canada thing, and the most recent CDC data from the 2019, so this is an older article, shows that the U.S. abortion rate was 11.4 per 1,000 women, and it's marginally higher than Canada's at 10.1. And in Canada, it's been legal in all 9 states since 1988 with public health care.
States.
And is it provinces? Whatever the fuck you call them in Canada. Whatever. Who gives a shit,
All right, go
to be
ahead.
clear. No one likes Canada. I forgot you're Canadian.
That's true.
Yeah, so yeah, thank you,
I don't
American.
think Speakeasy likes Canada.
Well, because he's Canadian, of course. Yeah, no. So if the abortion rate is literally lower in Canada than it is here, and they have like the most like complete like no restrictions, you're not even allowed to protest about outside of like abortion clinics there, and they have public health
That's
care.
not
Like
true.
I mean, it says that in
You
this
can-
article
you
I'm
can
reading. I
protest
trust that,
outside
but
of
Yeah, there's
abortion
literally a
clinics.
Planned Parenthood not long, like a 10-minute drive from where I live, and there's people there protesting every day. So that's not true.
well, maybe they changed it since
have a
August
right to
31st,
that over here.
2022. But would trust you over me to know about Canada.
Anyway, I also don't think that showing pictures of what abortions actually look like would be very effective because if you have a uterus, it just looks like period if it's a medical abortion. Just
Have you ever
looks like
seen a late term
whole
abortion?
period. I have not, but
This is
most
just
people are
so-
not seeking out
Just
late term
not
abortions.
true, but okay.
You should look it up.
It just looks
No,
like a
I know for
period.
sure what a medical abortion looks like. I assure you.
Why? Because you had one? Oh, wow.
I will
Whore.
You're
neither
gonna use your
confirm nor
anecdotal
deny,
experience to tell us
but
what
I
it
know
looks
what
like.
they look like. I
Okay,
promise you.
I want to
know.
correct myself, Speakeasy. It's several provinces, not states. Several provinces have it prohibiting protesting on the sidewalk outside of abortion facilities. Apparently, you don't live in one of these, or they've changed the law since then. So,
Yeah, and the point is that the reason I brought this up is that number stays the same, right? And that goes to show that when you do nothing about it because it's decriminalized, nothing changes about the
but
abortion.
then why is the
So
rate then
laws
lower
are
than
effective
America?
in lowering the numbers. That was what I was bringing this up for.
Why is the rate lower than in America then?
When you bring up the national rates, and this is actually you said it was in 2019 that was from. Yeah, so you probably want to bring up now to compare it. I bet you
I mean,
it'd
I
be
can look
lower
at that
now. But
again.
even if when you guys keep bringing up the national numbers average, I don't know how else to explain it to you other than
I'm aware that certain states where it's
and
legal
saying it
would
doesn't
offset
snow.
certain states where it's illegal, but I would be interested to see that the rates are so high in places where they don't have as restrictive
Yeah, you can
abortion laws
actually-
that it
that actually makes sense when you
completely
look at
offsets it,
Canada.
right?
So Canada in 2020, or wait, which one was this? 2022 had 97,000 abortions roughly, and in 2022, the United States had about 1.4 million. And the population difference is that Canada has a population.
Can you
of
just
about
tell me the
40 million
rates? Because you're just saying like raw numbers. The rates are kind of more important.
Yeah, do percentages.
Canada was about 10.1 abortions per 1,000 women aged 15 to 44 in 2020, and United States was 15.9.
Okay, so like way higher in the United States, like 50% higher.
What? No, the opposite. United States is at almost 16.
Yeah, in Canada it's 10, so it's higher in the United States.
Yeah.
50% higher in the place where they have more restrictive abortion laws in a bunch of the states.
No, that was 2020.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, if you want to
United
use a
States
more
was
recent
16
number,
as of 2020.
yes, a higher rate of abortions in places with a higher restriction than the place that has one of the least amount of abortion
The
restrictions in all
United
9
at
provinces.
that time, Roe versus Wade was
Okay,
the
well,
Okay,
can we
sure.
look
So
at-
then,
can we
okay,
look at
then use a new
2024
number from a new thing. But what you're reading to me now is telling me what we're saying, which is that if you completely unrestrict it, but you have better healthcare and contraception, you're going to have lower abortions than if you have more restrictive in more states. You're still going to have a higher rate. That's the whole point. Also, I have to say I won because that's the rule of this debate,
Yeah, we won. We
based
did
on that
it.
number at least.
For the record, the chat always wins, especially my chat, ladies and gentlemen. It's the best damn chat, and they owned all of you, making
Sarah,
fun of all
you
of you.
win
And they
when
had a
Ryan
grand old
comes on
time.
Open Panel and you make $8 billion.
Oh, goodness. Speaking of, why don't we move into closing statements and then we'll move into open panel dumpster fire. Charlie, would you like to start us off, please?
Me and Soypill won. It is undeniable that we are actually the winners. Abortion rates in the U.S., especially including the states bordering states with abortion bans, abortion numbers went up. Fertility rates are still dropping. All the data is on our side. Womp womp.
Thank you, Charlie. Soy pill to you, please.
Yeah, just adding on to that, obviously declaring victory because we always win. But yeah, I mean, I think the important part to see is yes, when you're looking at places where have incredibly restrictive abortion laws, you don't see a significant lower number of abortions. I mean, even the stat that Steele brought up at the very end there kind of shows what I'm saying, which is yeah, you can restrict abortions, and obviously you're going to have some number that are going to decrease. But if you look at effective ways to make abortions not happen, this is not the best way to do it. If you look at the Guttmacher study, the best way to restrict abortions, and if you want fewer, dead babies, if you truly think it's killing a baby, I think everyone should be on board with this. We need to increase access to contraception so that people have fewer unintended pregnancies. But otherwise, I just don't think these people contended at all with what we were saying about how this is completely unfeasible to ban it nationwide in the way that they want. And unless you were able to somehow draconially, enforce this everywhere across the entire planet, there's just no effective way to stop people from getting these. You're not reducing the demand. Enough people are going to give the supply, doctors included, that you can't have your magical mifepristone detectors in mail. So just increase birth control and we can have fewer abortions and everyone could be happy.
Thank you, Soy Pill. Speak easy to you, please.
Yeah, so again, the question isn't whether people still want abortions or whether they'll try to get them somewhere else. The question is whether anti-abortion laws are effective at reducing abortions. And inside the jurisdictions where they're passed, the evidence is bulletproof. Right? When the ban hits, the clinics shut down, in-state abortions collapse to almost zero. Right? Birth rates rise in those states. You guys keep bringing up these other states. You're just saying criminal. Good fucking argument. All right. Every county argument you've heard tonight concedes the same point. People have to travel. People have to look for pills. People had to scramble. This is literally the definition of effectiveness. It literally changed the people's behavior. So here's the takeaway. You can argue about morality.
Change their behavior to
argue
get
about
the same
safety,
abortions they would have
your
gotten
scary
anyway, to be clear.
back alley abortions. All right. But you can't argue with the data. Anti-abortion laws don't just send a message. They change behavior, they change the numbers, and they change reality. And that's effectiveness. Case close.
Thank you, Speakeasy. And
Did you say
stillborn
case
to you,
close?
sir.
I mean, since we're all doing it, yeah, me and Speakeasy totally fucking won this debate. They didn't contend with a single point that I made, nor did they actually argue against any of them. They conceded to a lot of them, like nobody owns people. That's crazy. I mean, it's like we banned slavery and now there's no slaves in the United States. Isn't that? It might have taken a couple of years.
I wonder if we
did
banned
happen, so
guns,
it's like,
if
Well,
if you
technically,
got
it's
rid of
still
guns,
legal
I'm sure
if,
they'd agree
if
with that.
someone's a prisoner.
It's his
Sorry.
closing statement. Thank you.
God, these fucking people. Fucking progressives have no respect. Anyways,
True.
if it was the case that we could federally ban abortion, which is most definitely doable, like it's like logically possible that we could do it, no questions asked, and not only that, it is practically possible to do so, which is if you get an abortion, you go to jail for murder. It's not that hard to understand. You could just make that the law of the land, and then people would stop doing it because they would rather not go to prison for murder as opposed to, I don't know, having a baby and giving it up for adoption. Having babies, the things that women have been doing for thousands of years, if not millions of years, these things that, their bodies are designed to do. Like, it's not like, we're asking you to, like, can you just like cough up your leg for people because they could just really use it? No, it's the thing that the uterus is actually designed to do. It has a function, a purpose. It was designed to breed, or it was designed to reproduce offspring. So it's not like we're asking you to do anything that's out of the norm. We're asking you to just not kill your children. And that's the laws that we advocate for. Could we enforce those laws? Absolutely. They couldn't contend with any of the points. Me and Speakeasy won this debate. And with that, I'll just see the rest of my time.
I forgot to
Fair
mention
enough.
I win. I forgot
Fuck yeah. I was gonna say, Charlie, they kind of got us. They I think I counted 4 declarations of win. We only had 2,
Oh,
so
fuck.
they kind
Oh,
of fucked.
damn
But we
it.
won. We
Yep,
won.
we won.
That's 2. We won.
Won.
Oh, goodness. Well, I honestly think if you guys want to prevent abortions from happening, you should promote abstinence and all of that fun propaganda to lead in that direction. Okay, we're going to respond to super chats. The panel is officially open. Please feel free to start hopping backstage. If you'd like to add on to the conversation, we'd love to have you. The link is pinned in the chat. Wow, that's a lot of people already jumping back there. All right. Savage Red Recovery says the Big Ten says, I'm in Ohio, and there was a lot of things that were weird about the election, from marijuana and abortion. And there was a lot of things that were, I think he probably was double typing or something. Any thoughts to add to that?
I guess he's claiming that because the abortion law wasn't effective in Ohio, it's because there was like a election riggery or something. I don't know what he's kind of getting at.
Yeah.
I think when this came in, it was first having to do, you guys were talking about Texas and the laws and doing adjacent state stuff. So maybe it fell somewhere in there. I'm not sure. But, well, he's backstage, so maybe he can explain it a little more. Tard Wrangler, love that name, says, made sriracha and peanut butter sandwiches as a drunk snack. Shit sucks. Don't make it. Ew. Thank you for the heads
Sounds
up.
awful.
That sounds completely awful. Savage Red says, makes sense. The smug soy boy grew up middle class or upper middle class. How dare you, soy?
I'm not smug because I grew up upper middle class. I'm smug because I'm right. I just also happen to grow up upper middle class.
Fair enough. K2 Keep on Truckin' says the delivery driver is supposed to report suspicious behavior, especially with medicine, and then the company reports it, and then a federal investigation goes on distracted paperwork.
Yeah, police, this envelope feels like mifepristone. I think you should come check it out.
Yeah, holy mother! Yeah, the medicine,
No,
the suspicious medicine shit they're looking at is usually what is it called? Class what
Schedule
are the
1?
restricted drugs? I actually have one on my desk right now. Schedule 1. I take Vyvanse.
All right, so the thing is, you keep acting like it would be impossible. You keep acting like it would be impossible to find this stuff in the mail, right?
It would be stupid difficult. It would be dumb difficult. I promise you.
Yeah. Okay.
Where are these drugs made?
But we literally make sure that illegal shit doesn't go through the mail all the time.
Okay.
Do you know what the Silk Road is?
You would require some type of judicial oversight and warrants for any mails, right away. You would have it right away. Include medical emergencies and have some type of like sticker that represents the exception of that it's coming from a actual prescribed medication. All right. There's plenty of ways we could stop illegal pills from getting through the mail. Why do you think we don't we catch MDMA and all these other types of pills they try to send through the mail?
This is not a we. You're talking about us.
Sure,
and again,
she kind of got you there.
As an American, let me make this clear. We have a lot of people in our country, and the USPS is not funded well. this would be extremely difficult to do and would be a pain in the ass. And there's not
Oh,
really
Yeah, as
because
an
things
American,
are
I can tell
hard
you,
to
you
do,
should
we
just try
shouldn't
and
do
order
them.
some
Good
fentanyl in
fucking
the mail and see
argument,
what
Michael
happens.
Jackson.
some
Holy
fentanyl in the
Yeah,
fuck.
try
mail.
ordering that in the mail and see if they stop you before it fucking happens.
To be fair, I mean, the Silk Road was incredibly prolific for like a decade because it was incredibly hard to stop it, and only by
Yeah.
shutting it down, and not because they were able to like have mail restrictions on
all
all
the
the
shit
drugs
that
that
was
we were
being
shipping
mailed.
and buying with Bitcoin. When I say
It's
we,
not
by
like
the
the
way, I
fact
don't
that
mean
you
I
could,
was
like,
doing it. I just think
Yeah.
all these other people were doing it.
I mean, I'm assuming it's only like one pill, right? It wouldn't be that hard to have a service selling
where's
something
it
of
coming
some
from?
sort and putting one pill in it.
Could come
Well,
from
they could
Mexico,
be
Canada.
in a place where it is legal, right? To get one pill, one girl goes, yep, I need a pill, yada yada yada.
Yeah, but this is
Um,
if it wasn't illegal everywhere, right? Obviously, we want the ban everywhere. We don't just want it in certain states. We want it every state.
Right, but
So-
again, we're
What do
talking
you
about
mean
reality
we?
and not
Again, I
fairyland
need
where
you
you
to
can
stop
implement this
saying we,
everywhere.
bro. You are Canadian. I hate it when
Hey,
Canadians.
hey,
get on this
bro!
topic
I
and
voted for
they
Trump too,
start-
stupid. I'm a dual citizen. Shut your dumb ass up for a
Dang.
minute. Stop talking while people
You
talk.
voted for Trump. Did
Yes,
you become an
yes.
American?
I
What
got
are
to
you
vote.
originally?
Yes,
What
yes.
are you originally?
Just shut up for a minute. You're
Are you
talking.
American?
Well,
You're
Charlie, we don't have to
Canadian
make the
originally.
racist
You're
arguments,
fucking
okay?
dumb.
We accept
Yeah,
him
no,
now.
I
He's got
am
the
right now.
citizenship.
Were you
I accept
American or
him.
Canadian originally?
I'm a dual citizen.
Okay, but
Do you
where are
understand what
from?
that means?
No
Where
man
are
can
you
serve
from?
two masters.
She
Holy
doesn't understand it,
fuck.
frankly. Not that bright.
Where are you from?
Dumb as a fucking stump you
Where
are.
are you from?
How'd you
Where are
get
you
up
from?
into debating?
I
Like,
came in here and
you
I
should
heard
just do
All
a
right,
knitting
about
channel or
Wait,
next.
are you
something.
living in Canada?
Next.
You came to the U.S. to vote
Fuck.
for Trump?
Next question or comment. You're all getting neutered until it's time you want a baby. Problem solved. Ooh, yikes. Savage Red said, as a person with 5 children, I don't need a liberal, childish woman to tell me about the stages of pregnancy, embryos, or fetuses. Shots
How old
fired
do
at
you
you,
think I
Charlie.
am?
I think I just saw a really stupid chat pop up, Sarah, that said like per 1,000 isn't per capita. Isn't that like literally what is per capita per 100 or like
It
it's
would
literally like
per
for each
capita would just be
individual.
however, whatever the metrics are that you set up.
Yeah, like it could be per 1,000, it could be per
That's
100.
like
It's
Per
how
like
million, per
you,
100,000, however you
yeah,
want to set it.
It's
depending
supposed
on
to be,
how
like,
you're
per head, but,
comparing
like-
different places, right?
yeah, but like they're arguing that it's like, well, it's not like that doesn't take into account population size, but that's literally what it is. It's per 1,000 people. Like if there was 1,000 people, if there were 10 million people, per 1,000 is the rate per 1,000 people, which you could then divide by 1,000. It would be per capita.
Well, if you want to go that rate, I mean, technically speaking,
I'm not arguing with you, Steelborn. I'm arguing with
The private
whatever
chat.
dumb little
And
chat I just saw
everyone,
pop up.
everyone's spurging in the private chat. I don't like it when you talk in the private chat unless it's logistics only. Please put your opinions in the regular chat. Thank you, or I will boot the fuck out of you out of my stage. Grid says, can either side please start making actual arguments and holding positions? I actually expect much better from all of you. Ooh, you all just got dad woned.
No.
And yes, I'm a dick. No, I think you're just a dad. He just dadded all of you.
Grid's actually kind of a nice guy. I'll say that.
I met Grid
Yes.
one. He's an awesome guy. He's really fucking funny to be around.
Grid's great. Savage says, of course, a childless woman doesn't know anything about pregnancy is lecturing us. You liberals need to stop talking about rural middle America. You don't know what you're talking about.
Is that person's profile picture just
Well,
a
I grew up in
homeless
a rural
person?
county, so
I'm not sure. What is that actually? I almost thought that was a, never mind. Also followed up with 2022, Texas had 297,000 babies born in 2023, 397,000 babies born in 2024, 600,000 babies born. Are you lying, ma'am?
I think
Did she
somehow they
freeze,
think
or
this
is she-
counteracts the study on like birth rates, and rates have to do with the rate and not the number. And if the population's increasing, there's going to be more people. But if the birth rate's
Yeah.
decreasing, that's kind of what we're looking at.
yeah, it's percentages.
Okay. Amy says, are we looking at baby deletions for all birthing persons or just biological women? That probably makes a difference.
It's like a trans joke. Trans people can't have
I don't get it.
babies, right? Trans women.
I think it's a trolling question. I'm pretty. I
feel like this
couldn't
is like the
imagine
pregnant
it.
people joke.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, there can be pregnant trans men, right?
Oh God. Savage says, Charlie, you're a man. He's got a thing for you. Charlie, you're right. Women are naturally devious because because we caught you lying on stream, Charlie. You're right. Women are naturally devious because you caught.
Why did
Wonder
you
if
copy
he's doing
paste
like
this?
voice.
Are these people typing? They're hyping up their chats. They're typing in a notepad like this is gonna hit so hard, and they copy paste it into the chat box, and then they like hit it twice.
It might be voice to text too. I know that has a lot of translation errors. We've seen that happen with our trucker friends. Shags sends money just to support us. We love you. Thank you, Shags. I like your name. Jess says, ban abortion, use condoms, stop trusting guys to pull out in time, and maybe don't fuck people you wouldn't want kids with.
Hey,
Hey,
like I said, if
concept
you're
right
gonna
there.
ban abortion nationwide, if this was accompanied by like unrestricted access to contraception everywhere, I think you'd actually see a pretty, significant drop in abortions to the, way that people want them to go away. Unfortunately, they're also trying to
What's
get rid
the
of contraception.
restricted access you're talking about?
Like, let's just say abortion was just illegal in every circumstance, but everyone had complete and total, like, universal access to contraception. I think
Wait, I asked
Yeah,
you.
that's what
what's
we're
the-
asking is,
What's
what
the
do you mean?
restriction we don't have right now? Like, who
Like,
can't go get condoms, bro?
No.
I think
When
it's
I
more
say,
like religious stuff.
first of all,
but-
people are trying to ban contraceptions in a lot of places, but
Cool.
what I'm saying
That's
is,
not what I asked.
what I'm
you,
saying
though.
is universal access to birth control. I'm saying that it is like free, and it's like, there's a fucking
You know
Planned
what birth
Parenthood.
control does to women? You know,
It makes
do
them
you
not have
understand all the
babies.
negative side effects that come with
I'm
birth
very
control?
aware of it, yeah.
Yeah. So why would you want to promote this?
So that we have fewer unintended pregnancies, which lead
I mean,
people
you
to
could
getting
just tell people to stop
abortions.
fucking until they're ready to
Right.
have children. That is
Or-
now.
Yeah,
I
we've
know
tried
you're
that.
wrong.
It's called
Everyone-
abstinence-only
everyone-
education,
by
and it
the way,
doesn't
we can
work.
still be degenerates,
sex
but not get
only
pregnant.
now.
Like, what is this?
I know telling people not to have sex works for you, Steelborn, but most people want to have sex, and unfortunately, you have to
Mhm.
kind of
No,
like
I'm not
do
saying
other
that. I'm saying
things
you
like
don't
Up
have to
until
have
contraception.
sex
sex. You
ed
need to take
got into
responsibility for your
classrooms, it
orgasms,
worked for
not just
everyone
fucking
else
throw it
too.
away.
Stupid.
No, it literally didn't. If you look
Yeah,
at,
it
you can look at
literally did.
literally
When they
controlling for
introduced
abstinence
sex
only.
education into school, that's when you seen the rise in teen pregnancy. That's
So
literally
No,
what
it's
how it
actually
went.
the
Presumably
opposite.
was
Sex
in-
ed and a non-abstinence only education
my
decreases
Lord.
teen pregnancies.
I don't remember what year it was. I think the
You
I
guys
think
just
the
make
study
up
was
shit
done-
as you go.
Hey,
huh?
children,
Well,
children,
hold on.
children,
Charlie's chat.
children,
Can we get a Charlie's
children,
chat fact check on that one, please?
children. I have a feeling I'm going to be playing the horse video a lot tonight just for your
Oh,
chat,
please, no.
Soy. Well, if you guys keep talking over each other, I will. So fuck around and find out. All right.
Okay, just real quick, Sarah, I am putting in
yeah.
the chat that more comprehensive sex education reduces teen pregnancies, just because he thinks I pulled it out of my ass, but it's because I read a study once.
What else can you pull out of your ass? K2 says,
Jesus.
know what
Sarah.
you guys can.
Hold on, is there an HR for the Raging Tomato Show? Excuse me. Or is
Absolutely
it
not.
you?
Absolutely not. Yes, I am
Whoever Sarah
HR.
doesn't want to deal with.
K2 says, know what? You guys convinced me. I need to buy more pew-pews.
You heard him.
I-
Left-wing
That is-
audience, buy more guns. I agree.
There you
No,
go.
real quick, so I just wanted to mention this. What Speakeasy was trying to reference, I think it was done between 1979 and 1980, where they did or maybe no, it was 1979 to 1989, I think. Might have the decade wrong, but it was somewhere like it was a decade-long study where they did. They asked high school graduates whether or not they had their virginity intact prior to them bringing sex education into the school. About 90% of high school graduates said they still had their virginity exiting high school. 10 years after they implemented sex education, something like 90% of high school graduates graduated without their virginity.
Okay, wait. I need to. Okay, first of all, have you taken into account the phenomenon of lying bitches? But if we ignore that, have you considered that as we introduce more progressive sex education that tells people that you shouldn't feel shamed for losing your virginity, fewer people are going to say, oh, I totally have my virginity intact. And they're going to say, yeah, oh, it's okay to admit that I don't have it. Like in the 80s versus like the 70s, or if we go back to like the 50s and shit, where they would do like fucking hymen checks on wives before marrying them. Yeah, like of course.
Jesus.
What are you talking about?
What I'm talking about is if you look at actual abstinence-only education and how ineffective it is in stopping teen pregnancy, but then you bring up a study of, hey, we just asked people whether or not they are virgins, and like,
Weird,
yeah,
you
it
tried
went
to
down
use
over.
that as an argument earlier, and then you used my argument against it.
Yeah, the
funny.
difference is
I think
women
you just-
usually don't lie
Nobody
about
would ever
getting
lie about having
abortions.
an abortion.
The difference is women usually don't lie about getting abortions. If anything, they would be more likely to say, no, I wouldn't, because of a lot of people shaming them, versus people are definitely lying about I have my virginity intact
Wait,
when
hold on
there
a
is
second.
like a.
Do you think that they were being asked by their mom and dad, dumbass? They
No,
were being
oh my
asked by
God.
fucking research teams. They didn't
Yeah,
know,
they're
and it
still
was
not
totally
gonna
anonymous.
say yes. What the fuck? Also, I do think that my generation having less sex than our parents, millennials and Gen X, that counts for something. We have more sex ed than ever, and Gen Z is not blinking.
Yeah, but yeah,
Didn't you
even if I
just say
grant this
earlier
study,
you had
just
a
so you know,
medical
like we
abortion?
can
I
look.
wouldn't use yourself as an example here. You're an example of why we should ban it.
What?
Didn't you just say earlier you had a medical abortion?
Oh, I didn't say that.
Oh, you didn't?
I think she said
that
she
wasn't what you
would.
used
She,
I said I would. I
example
also
of how
said I
you know what it
I
looks
know what
like?
a medical abortion
That
looks
isn't what
like.
you
I
said?
told you
All
that
right,
I know what
backpedal
one
now,
looks
though.
like. I didn't say
Backpedal
that I
now.
had an
no,
abortion.
she did, to
Okay.
clarify. She did say if she did, because she was talking about the adjacent state and going somewhere else to do. She would in fact do that if she
No,
needed
she
to.
said she knows what it looks like because she said that it looks like just a period. And I said, is that really what you think? And she said, I know. So,
I mean,
know
that
what
doesn't
it
mean
looks
she
like.
did it. That
so
just
how,
means
so
she
how do you
knows what it
know?
looks like.
To
We're
be-
implying that you have personal experience.
I've actually
Okay.
been in the
Hold on.
warehouse where
Backpedal it
Charlie
now, that's
force
fine,
feeds
though.
mifepristone to
To-
every
To
single
be
Republican
fair,
woman
I've
in a
seen
big
a lot
line.
of I've
It's
seen a lot of
10,000 of them.
videos on it. I've seen it like on videos,
also
so
had friends
that
that have
I'm just trying to make sure we're not putting words in people's mouths that don't
Yeah.
belong.
Speakeasy,
That's
I've
all.
seen beheading videos, and I want to make it clear to everyone in chat, I've never beheaded a single person. Just to be clear.
That's
But I
we
do
all-
know
we
what
all
it
saw
looks
that
like
one.
to behead a
Listen,
human
I mean,
being.
you totally could.
All right, last two, then we're going into dumpster fire. On the edge, Marte says Chuck's shirt is perfect. She's the Michael Myers of her womb. I feel like we need a lovely
Sick. I love
solo
that.
display of the lovely Michael Myers, although that is bad. Halloween safety.
Yeah.
That's great.
Babysitter safety.
Also, you'll
Babysitter-
stand up.
A sitter's
See,
guide.
Charlie will stand up for Sarah, but you won't take your hat off for Charlie, Speakeasy.
Oh, shit.
Again, unlike you, Soy Pill, I don't simp for everything that has a vagina, you know?
Well,
you got
and
me.
to
I'm
be
the biggest
fair,
white
I
knight.
wasn't
I'm
calling
not
her
like one of
out
the
in
most
a bad
sexist
way.
left-wing people I know.
K2, keep on trucking. Last one. They found people buying the CDL instead of taking road tests, followed the cash through the mail.
I think that he's just trying to make an argument that like people are, getting around certain driving restrictions,
No,
and they were able to track it
pointing
back
out
to
that
them,
they
right?
actually they popped them for it.
Yeah.
That they actually were able to do that by just looking through the mail. They popped people who were just buying
Yeah.
a CDL as opposed to taking the test.
Yeah, I think it's very easy to look for cash through the mail. I think that we have pretty good ways of doing that.
When those people were trying to send those puberty blockers and shit to kids through the mail, guess what happened? We stopped it. Oh, it looks like you can stop specific pills from getting through the mail. Stupid. Holy fuck.
Aren't puberty blockers like a liquid?
Shots. It's shots, I
Yeah.
believe. Yeah. Which is a lot easier to find.
The hormone pills too?
I
don't
I know
I
a lot of
don't
people
know.
that get
I
hormone
don't
pills through the
know.
mail, buddy.
Testosterone is in
Night
gel
nervosa
or
and the
Is
whole
this lady
fucking
fucking crocheting a
LGBT
scarf?
Like, you guys just,
She
like,
does
think on the
that.
hockey stage
She
doesn't
does that
help.
every stream. It's her. It's I.
I'm
Some
not judging
people
her
play
for
with
having the ADHD.
paper
I was
clips.
just judging the outlet of the ADHD, which was fucking crocheting a scarf.
I think it's awesome because it keeps her
It's
busy
fun.
sometimes.
Yeah.
It's a
I play
good thing,
solitaire.
trust
I was
me.
playing solitaire through some of this too.
Oh my god! All right, dumpster fire. Here we come.
All right, guys. Well, that was a lot less of a headache than I thought it would be. I hope you enjoyed. Hold on, let me turn off this loud, annoying music for you. I hope you guys enjoyed that. And now we're going to go to the open panel. I'll tolerate this for as long as I'm not tired talking to all these idiots talking about abortions. But that was fun. I enjoyed it. Charlie was refreshing to have, just like Buckaroo, when it's like, okay, at least someone's like, they get the game, you know? They know this is stupid. No, I'm sticking for the dumpster fire. I know you guys liked it. I know you guys want horses. How do you ask questions? I mean, if you super chat me, I'll ask a question. I'll answer, obviously. But if you go to the Raging Tomato here, let me post this. I actually don't know how to get you guys in the back room. I'll ask Sarah when we go back on, and I'll link it in chat for you guys if you guys want to go on the panel. I know there's a way to get on the panel. How the hell do you do it? Sarah, do you have the
Yes,
link for the
roll.
panel? My chat is asking for it.
Yeah, you can drop the same link that I gave you if you want, or I can drop it backstage.
The
if you need it
StreamYard
right
link,
now,
yeah?
like that. Actually, I'll just.
No,
drop
I got it. If it's a
backstage.
StreamYard one, I can drop that in chat. Thank you.
Yep. Okay, everyone, welcome. We got some new faces here. Welcome to the Raging Tomato, also known as the Open Panel Dumpster Fire. What is fun about this is there are other people waiting backstage to get on, and what can happen is if you start talking crazy or being annoying, the chat can and will boot you with a measly $10 of their hard-earned money that they will super chat up here, and they will say, get rid of such and such, yada, yada, yada. Throughout the evening, I will be dropping into the chat who is backstage. That way they know who's waiting so patiently. It's a full panel back there, so whoever keeps trying to hit the button to get in, please stop. You're going to have to wait until somebody leaves. Outside of that, keep your interruptions to a minimum. When it gets chaotic, I play really stupid videos. Soypill absolutely loves the horse video. It is his favorite. So if you interrupt, plan on seeing that one very, very soon. Somebody already paid in advance just for you, Soy. Let's go ahead and kick off. Savage, you were first in line, and also you had some super chats. I'd imagine you have some things to say. Go ahead.
So to answer the question about my picture, that is a picture of CT as a homeless man sleeping on the street. That's what my picture is. Second, so you said that the birth rate slightly dropped. From what I'm looking at, I'm seeing that it went to 60.6 per thousand people, and then it dropped to 60.6 per thousand people. So can you tell me what it dropped to with the study you have for Texas?
Oh, you're looking at the Texas study? Let me see.
It looks like 52.4 over here. That's the number I see here.
Okay. So I guess just a quick question. The prompt is, are anti-abortion laws effective at reducing abortions? Isn't like currently, right? Like the current abortion laws, are they effective at reducing abortions?
No, that is also, a part of the prompt, I think.
Sure, because I guess the reason I ask is because my understanding, and I could be wrong about this, is my understanding of the data is that due to the offset of people traveling across state lines and using things like telehealth, that the abortion rate nationally has not actually gone down since the overturning of Roe v. Wade. So at least in terms, so maybe the prompt you guys should have taken, Speakeasy and Stillborn, is anti-abortion laws could reduce abortions, could be effective at reducing abortions. I think that might have been a better prompt for you guys.
Pointing out what happens in the the surrounding states isn't actually addressing the argument. The number of abortions in the state went down, and the birth rate went up.
Well, that's why we asked about like what you consider effective, right? If gun crime didn't go down at all, but you banned guns in one state.
One at a time, please. One at a time.
Right? If you have it banned everywhere, you can't just go elsewhere. So this argument of they can just go elsewhere would be taken away. So do you have something else, or?
All right. So
like I said, that would be a different prompt. Then that would be like a different set of laws than what we have currently. The anti-abortion laws currently don't seem to nationally reduce the abortion rate, is what I'm pointing out.
Did they reduce it in the states that they're in?
You can't point at the national.
Seems like it was
why not
in the states then.
Because that would be
all
like
lives matter.
No, because it would be like pointing out the averages across America of the weather to say it doesn't snow.
But
do you understand?
The states nearby have influxes in abortion because people
by
are traveling
state bases, not the national.
People are traveling across state lines.
Let's just look it up.
Well, to be clear, do you guys care that there are the same number of abortions happening? Would you say that's good?
Potentially, yeah.
Why don't we just look up how much there was an increase in abortions in Colorado when Texas banned it?
And additionally, how much of an increase there was in telehealth and abortion pills being sent to people in those states.
Yeah, we would stop that. That would be an anti-abortion.
Yeah, you would.
law.
Again, that would be different laws than we have right now. So again, a better prompt for you guys that you wouldn't have lost on would be: could abortion laws be effective?
Okay, Coder, is it an anti-abortion law? Yes or no?
The current abortion laws?
No.
Yes.
If we were to make it that the FDA made sure that these pills weren't allowed to be sent through the mail, right? Would that be an anti-abortion law?
Sure, and potentially that could reduce abortion. We haven't seen that happen.
Right?
We haven't seen that happen, so
it would be effective, though, right?
Potentially, but you're just speculating.
Okay.
If the FDA
Potentially
banned
or logically?
pills, like they just banned them in the United States, like that would just potentially reduce.
How would it go up?
Oh, we do actually have a number. 170,000 patients traveled out of state in 2023 to seek abortion care. But that doesn't account for at-home abortions that people got through telehealth from out of state.
Yeah, people travel
nationally
states
or
to do
or what?
fucked up shit that
No,
they
no,
can't
that's
do in their
people-
current
people
state all
left
the
their
time. This
states.
isn't an
People left
argument.
their-
Is that number, that 170,000, is that throughout the entirety of the nation?
In all states that have abortion bans.
Okay, so yeah, that was
What
all
up,
states.
FG?
Okay, that's what I was trying to understand.
This is the longest I've seen.
So
Ryan
considering the
last.
prompt
Hello,
says
FG.
abortion law is plural, it's implying what's going on in the status quo as there are multiple laws in different states. If the prompt said an overall abortion ban across the entire country, it would say an abortion law, because one federal law would be all you would need, right? So because it's plural, I think it's implying the status quo.
You would need to implement it through the mailing services as well. You would have to do a lot of different things, actually. You would have to have the punishment not only for the woman getting the abortion, but the people performing it. If it was like some like underground doctor, like everyone thinks is going to happen, right? Like, so there would be actually more than just one law, but
that's really the only way that the offset gets rid of, right? Is that you have to have a total abortion ban.
That's a really
Anyway,
good
just having
analogy,
abortion
Louis.
laws in different
That's really
places, it's
funny.
only gonna
Yeah,
offset the
Ryan.
places where
Ryan
it's legal, right?
got.
well, that
Not necessarily. even.
that
Let's just say
isn't
half the country banned
addressing
it.
if it's effective or not. That's just saying people, if people have an easy access right next door to do the thing they're not allowed to do in the current place, that they're going to go next door to do it. But if you take away the next door, then what?
Well, yeah, that's why I'm
They
saying
go
you
next
have to
door.
have a total abortion ban to actually do it. Is
That's
what I was
what
saying
we're
earlier.
arguing.
No,
You
you
guys
don't
were
even have to have
asking
a
whether or
total
not the,
abortion
And it would
ban.
be
whether or not the
even
numbers
more
went down in
effective.
Texas.
What you're arguing.
You're not asking
One
whether or
at
not
a
the
time,
numbers went
please.
down in
One at a
Texas.
time.
Hold on.
One at a time.
Okay, Effigy,
Thank
you
you.
wouldn't have to have a total ban. Let's just say the United States split down the middle, right? Like we did for the Civil War, like just that, but it goes all the way to California now, right? Do you think people in North Dakota, there's going to be anywhere near as many people in North Dakota who wanted to get an abortion are going to drive down to like Texas to get one if it was
Yes.
legal there?
Yep.
Yes.
Just as many people are who wanted to get one in North Dakota are just going to drive to Texas to get it.
Yes.
I don't think you understand how big a deal being pregnant is.
I don't think that you understand the
Oh
fact that
my
what you're saying is absolutely
gosh.
ridiculous. That there's going to be 1.5 million illegal abortions in the
We're
United
mad. We don't
Well,
understand.
yeah,
None of
wait,
that
to be
matters.
clear-
Wade, one of the
bro,
number
are you
one
not?
maternal
What the fuck you
fatality
talking
things
about,
was
bro? What are you-
unsafe abortions, right? There were entire wards in hospitals dedication to the things that happened to women through unsafe abortions.
Yeah, in 1971, before Roe versus Wade, how many women died from legal abortions?
I don't have the exact stat in
From
front of me.
It was
legal abort?
29.
You mean
How
from
many think died
illegal?
from illegal abortions in the United States in 1971?
How many?
And tell me.
It's 36. Such a
Okay.
massive increase. I know, it's crazy.
Wait,
Nobody's
did you
actually
say
engaged with
illegal
this
versus
debate yet.
illegal in the same year? Is that what the number
Nobody's-
was?
I
no-
agree.
no
No
one's-
one, no one has engaged with this debate yet. Not from
All
the
right,
beginning.
so
I think
help us out
Grid
here.
one,
Right.
Grid one was accurate in what he was saying.
Okay, so
When I
help
read
us
the
out.
title, of this debate, the key word that rang out to me was effective. Now I am 110% against soy pills philosophy, but he was actually the closest to engaging with this debate the entire time, because he was saying pretty effective or substantially effective, something along those lines. And when you add in adjective modifiers to that, it means there's a percentage number in your mind of what you're thinking will cross the line into effectiveness. So, for example, if there is an effectiveness in any kind of state on abortion, let's say there is, a soy pill, and let's say that he thinks it's 40%, Speakeasy thinks it's 20%, but the actual number is 30%. Well, then you're all going to be wrong. So nobody's actually engaged because nobody has defined what effectiveness is from the very
I
beginning. of the
literally
discussion.
defined what
Did they
effectiveness
did they
is.
alter
How-
their
how did
behavior
you
to
define
do
it?
Come
law?
in late or something?
Well, it's
I
possible. I may
literally
have,
defined what.
Well, yeah,
effectiveness
Chris, to
What
be
did you
clear,
say that it
Speakeasy said
was?
if it reduces it by
I
one,
thought
that's
you heard
effective.
all my arguments and you know how incoherent. I
okay,
was.
hold on a
Now all of
second.
a
I
sudden
didn't-
you don't know
I
what
did
Go
not
ahead.
heard you
Go.
say it.
Hold on.
What did
Go.
you
Go
say?
ahead and go ahead and
Did they alter their behavior due to the laws going into effect?
Well, I'm just asking Speakeasy. What did you say that it was? At the
That's
very
what he
beginning?
said.
Say it again.
Did they alter their behavior due to the abortion laws going into effect?
Okay,
In
just
the-
to be clear, by that definition, if
in
the
the
number of
state-
abortions stayed exactly
try-
the same, but they did it in a different way because they altered their behavior, you would call that effective.
Yes.
It reduced the number of
Well,
abortions.
let me-
Well, that's
let me
not
put it
what you
this
just
way.
said, to be clear.
Let me put it a different way.
Just
to
because
try
you
to
don't
explain.
like the effectiveness doesn't mean that it's not effective.
Well, yeah,
Okay.
I
The
agree with that
you
too. Yeah,
literally
Like,
right.
I guess if that's what you're
Chris,
arguing
you
for,
literally
is for
just
everyone to
said,
have the
Chris.
exact
All right,
same
let
number of
me
abortions.
reset because you guys are interrupting. If you're watching on the tomato side, I'm about to raid you over to the gauntlet. If you're already there, congratulations, you're where you need to be. I'm going to shut the tomato down in exactly 2 minutes. So either start moving over with the link that's being dropped in the chat or catch the raid. Up to you. And Chris, you got about 60 seconds to finish your thought because a boot just came in for you. But I'll let you, I
Okay.
want you to finish your thought.
If we could just all agree that because we're not omniscient, there's no possible way that we could determine that even one person was not deterred from any such law. There's nobody that could ever determine that. So it's impossible to disprove that. So all we're saying is that if somebody believes that one person being deterred from this is effective, that would then essentially be effective. And then the debate's over. I mean, because it becomes completely subjective at that point. So
I
that's
agree.
what I wanted to say is let's, define our parameters before continuing the discussion.
Yeah, one life saved
Okay.
is worth it.
For many
Facts.
All right, Chris, I'm going to throw you backstage.
Hey, Hilbert.
Now, I'm going to put you back in line, so hang tight because it moves fast.
Timu Rob
go
Nor.
Oh.
Hey, we've been calling him Timu Rob Noor for a while now, and it's been great having him on because he does look like him.
I might as well own it.
I've never heard of anybody ever.
When I was a teenager, my curfew was effective because I only snuck out after my
I think Chris
parents went
actually
to
raised a really
bed.
good point. Like, how are we precisely,
I think I just heard a
maybe
split second of my voice
metrically,
there. You watching the
or
video,
is there a
Soy?
hard
I
line
did, open up your
definition that
channel
is
'cause I was like,
objective
oh,
that
history.
we could say is
And I wanted to double check
Can
that I was
anybody,
subscribed.
maybe
Actually, I
offer
should open
something
that up.
like
I don't
that?
think I'm subscribed on
would
this
say that I
channel,
think
so I'm
that-
subscribed again. Everyone
I
subscribe to
think that
Hilbert.
it would have
Not that
to
he
be
fucking
something
needs it,
that
Mr.
would,
Half a Million.
language
Jesus.
I mean, the purpose of, the abortion laws in the U.S. were, it's my understanding, enacted because they wanted to increase the population of native-born Americans. And so I think that if there hasn't been a significant increase in the American population, then I don't think it's terribly effective. If we don't really have like a proper,
No, it's
replacement.
value of life. That's what
You're
the
literally
point.
attacking.
Well, that's what the
you're
purpose
literally
is.
attacking a straw man. The point of
I forgot.
anti-abortion laws is because
I have the baby
people
killer
want
label
abortion
on.
laws
I think
passed
it's
is
so
because we believe
fucking
that human
funny.
life has inherent
Like I'm making all
value,
these arguments
and that
about
those
the
babies
baby
in the womb
killer.
have a right not to be destroyed by their mothers before they get the chance to even defend
All right.
themselves.
Well, I'm just trying to be practical because
that's great, but that's not our position, so you're attacking a literal straw man.
concern. If we, oops, I just pulled out my fucking headphones.
Well, the
If we were
practicality
to-
of it
if
would
we
be
were
the
to-
value
okay,
of the
can I
life.
speak? Hello.
You can go ahead. It's your
Hello?
panel.
No, what you're saying is we want to
I'm
decide
still
that the government
talking.
gets access to other people's bodies.
So, if we are
They
to,
already have access to other people's
significantly-
bodies. What's
if
wrong
we
with
are
you,
to
dude?
fucking deport people in the U.S. and significantly decrease immigration, then we need to have
That's a
enough
different
children
argument.
to properly replace the population.
No, the title was
Would that
intentional,
not be
Ricky.
the
I just forgot I
purpose
put
of
it there.
an abortion ban?
Argument.
So wouldn't it be actually the most effective way of doing that be ban contraception and abortion, and then people wouldn't be able to not have babies, and then they
people
would
are
be having
trying to
babies
do
left
this.
and right?
I
Just saying,
people
like, you
are-
want to
this
go
is-
practical?
this is
Isn't that
people
how it works?
Why not just ban sex outside of marriage?
I mean, that would be the actual, to me, it would be.
Christian thing to do.
Well, I would say it would be kind of
About
the
5 seconds, how you'd have to enforce that.
Yeah. It'd be
well,
something doing
no,
it.
I think yes, you're right, but I think effectiveness in terms of now we're not worried about backstreet abortions and so on and so forth, because if the fear factor right, in terms of, oh, well, I could go to jail if I have an abortion. Well, if the fear factor starts at merely having sex prior to marriage, then now the fear factor sits there, right? So you're backing up the level of fear factor to the point of things even starting to happen versus I'm not promoting banning having sex premarital. But what I'm saying is, if you're going just based off of implying a fear factor into people, a consequence that they don't want to, if they're law-abiding citizens, that would be where I would start initially, if that is the basis.
Okay, real quick, Sarah. The problem that and I don't think you're doing. I think you're doing this unintentionally. Is that you think that I don't know about. I won't speak for Speakeasy, but I'll speak for myself. I don't care if women die because they try to kill their babies. I don't care. I don't feel bad for them. I have no sympathy, no empathy that they
That's
died
so
in the process
pro-life
of
of you.
trying to kill their children. I don't
It's real
care.
pro-life, yeah.
That's so
Like it's
epic.
like to me,
That's
it's the
so
equivalent of
hardcore,
being like,
dude.
I'm so sad
Holy
that
shit.
this person who was essaying their child didn't die in the process. I don't care if that's the case.
Did Stillborn say that he was pro-life, or is he just saying that he wants to abolish abortion?
Ooh, your mic is choppy, bud.
Your robot.
Just so you know. Yeah.
I would
That's okay.
I would want to take into account the fact that by a single state banning abortion, obviously women are going to go to other states to get abortions. So in order to determine
Yeah,
whether
that
or
was
not the ban is
completely
effective,
unprompted.
you'd have to look
He just
at
kind
the
of
very least at
wanted
like,
everyone to know that he
the
does not care that
national
women die.
rate
That's
of
cool.
abortions and see if that goes down.
No, see,
Which
that's
it did
wrong. You would
not.
have to look
It
at
went
it
up.
by state, and the the effectiveness is comparing the measurable decline to what it was like before the ban.
Yeah, but
can't
if you don't
compare it
take
to
into
the
account
following states
if you don't
after the
take into
ban, that
account
doesn't
the
even-
if you don't take into account the change in the number of abortions in the surrounding states by looking at the national average
If we
rate
had a
as
law,
a whole,
I'll explain real
then
quick.
you're
I'll give you an
missing
analogy.
the whole picture. And,
Hold on,
you
okay.
know,
If there's a state,
so
let's say
great.
that seatbelts weren't
I
legally
say
mandated
something
throughout
reasonable and I get
let's
kicked
say
immediately.
seatbelts weren't
Do you
mandatory.
see what we're trying to deal with, Teo Dave? Do you see what we've
I
been
got
trying
to
to
get myself up
explain?
there one of these days.
Let me
so that
real
I
quick.
can't
Let me
get
make this
kicked.
analogy so you understand what
I'm
we're
going to
saying.
do it with Coder, and then you guys can't kick me or him.
Hell
and then
yeah.
you'll have to deal.
Anyways, let me explain what we're trying to say. If
Anyways,
seatbelts were not legally, damn it, Sarah!
Oh, did you still want to? I'm sorry. I thought you were. I didn't.
Real quick.
That's
Try to address
fine.
what he said real
I
quick.
apologize.
Okay, if seatbelts were not legally mandated in the United States, and we wanted to determine if seatbelt laws that have been passed were effective, we're not going to look at did the total number of car crashes go down, or did the total number of deaths from car crashes go down. We're going to look at the states that passed seatbelt laws and see if did their number of total car crash deaths go down.
We're
not going to look at the national average of
Seatbelts
car crash
seatbelts
deaths.
don't reduce or
aren't-
increase
Because
car
some people
crashes,
over in the
dude. What the
fucking
fuck are you
states where they
talking
might be doing even more
about?
stupid shit.
Yeah, this doesn't
Whether
work
or
in
not
the
you wear a
analogy because,
seatbelt
like I
does
said
not
earlier,
change whether or
you
not
can
you
look at the
crash through
abortions
your
in
car.
Texas, but you're not counting the abortions that Texans have.
You guys
Kay,
can-
did you have a response?
I think that Soy and Effigy just responded just fine, so I'll take my boon, I guess.
Sorry, buddy.
Okay.
Bye.
Is my mic working now? Just out of curiosity.
Sorry, I was scared by
And what's
still
worse is you have
choppy.
an accent and are not American, so I'm going to take you even less seriously.
He is
I think
British,
it's,
and I make fun of him for it every time I talk to him.
it's sounding choppy, so I don't know if it's how you're Bluetoothed in. Maybe there's a. Oh, well, he just leaves. That's fine too.
Damn.
Um,
Brexit.
Okay, Frito's up next. Okay. All right, back to you. And Jess Gerald gifting 10 Gauntlet memberships out to all of you lucky lottery winners. Congratulations. Fuck It Button says states plus anti-abortion law changes said state abortions lower. State plus no law change equals irrelevant in all aspects. Law proven effective. Cope harder.
This guy's not allowed to say anything if he can't spell abortion. That's embarrassing. He did it
It's
twice.
because it won't let you. Yeah.
Oh, wow. It won't let you
Yeah,
send. You can't
US
say the word
and YouTube
abortion.
and-
How draconian.
Yeah, 'cause
Okay, well, okay. Then if that's the case, I'll address this argument. So again, if we're talking about effective, if your measure for effective is number go down in state, where obviously this is true, we can read this measurement, and not hey the number of abortions has reduced, which is what I would hope the people who want to reduce abortions want, and clearly this isn't happening because it's increasing in all these other states. And then you have to move on to the argument, well, if we banned it everywhere, then it would be effective in the way that we want it to be. That's the reason we keep bringing up, hey, there's a reason it's not working when you ban it on the state level, and we can't go into your fantasy land where it becomes federal and everyone complies.
Why can't we go into the fantasy land where it gets banned federally?
Because
It
it's
was
not
legalized
happening.
Federally. Oh, because it's not happening. What a fucking
No, like it
argument.
can't.
Because
It's like saying, what if we
we're
banned all
talking
guns?
about
It's not
the
going to
present.
happen.
We're
Like we
talking
cannot
about
ban all
reality,
guns.
dude.
Was it legal federally?
We're talking about reality. Holy shit! I don't think you've been in reality this whole fucking.
Was it
debate.
legalized
I don't think
federally?
you've been
Can
in
we
my
ban it
country this
federally?
whole
Like
time,
I don't know,
so I don't
slavery.
Yeah. Okay. I literally just came back to Canada, stupid. I was
Well,
there
stay
when
there.
Trump got elected. You know that?
We federally
Probably
banned
not, right? You shouldn't
slavery
make
and then
Stay
that
there.
stopped. I mean, it's crazy.
Right?
Stay
You
there.
I know you
federally
probably
ban
saw a
things that
picture of
are
me and thought, I got this. This guy looks dumb. Let's
I don't actually
fuck
research
yourself.
anyone that's supposed to be my opponent.
Probably not
I
smart.
don't. I don't care.
So, question: what do you guys think happens to
Really?
the children that were going to be aborted if they
They
aren't
get born?
aborted? Yeah, they're born, and then they hire me to eat the baby. Like, this doesn't solve anything.
What?
Like,
He's a
What?
fucking
if you
retard.
ban the abortions, it's just gonna end up killing like born babies.
You're right.
Like,
We
what
didn't
is
account for
the
baby
plan?
eating Andy. We
You
never.
didn't
I'm sorry.
account
Can
for
you,
me.
can you
I eat
explain
the
that one,
babies.
Andy?
What
Can
is
you explain
happening?
that
Baby
kind of
eater
whatever
Andy? What
concept
is
you just
going on?
Walk us
What
through
the
this.
fuck is
dude?
You're
this?
like a
Okay,
fucking
so-
shark. Why are
What
you
is
listening to this dude?
this?
They ban abortions.
He needs to
Less
Wait,
people
are they
have the
taking him
abortions,
seriously?
so they kill the babies.
What?
What the fuck are you
They
talking about?
kill the babies
How much
Who
that
is
were going to
they
be
and
aborted.
what?
Ooh.
Hold on.
but
Sir,
aren't
how much
aborted.
weed have you
Tuesday-
smoked this
hold
evening?
on, hold on, guys. Let me.
Are you
try.
like stuck on a ceiling? Like, is your ceiling
Oh,
so
I'm in an
low?
attic.
Why are they
Yeah,
indulging
uh,
this? It's
you
so
should
obvious.
probably
This
get
is
out
like
of
the
that person's
lamest
attic.
troll
Makes it worse.
ever. They're just like, what?
No.
No way.
Wait. Where did they
Oh.
find the babies?
Oh my
Who are
God,
they?
Benjamin.
Why are they
Based,
eating them?
Horseman
It's the baby
reference
eaters.
from Film
Let me
Cow.
explain this better.
Trolling, dude.
If a woman is going to have an abortion, but she doesn't because abortions are banned, what do you do when she kills that baby after it comes out?
You put her in
from her?
you fucking hang her in the
Now
public square. I don't give a
she's
shit.
now she's red rummed a human being.
Great.
But regardless of that, I want to get back to the thing you said earlier. Who
How
are
are you guys
they,
falling for
and
this?
why are they
This
eating
is
babies? And what
insane.
what are
It's
they
me.
doing?
I'm eating the baby. It was
Why?
a dumb joke.
Oh, okay. It was a joke.
Andy's
Okay.
tag says baby eater, and you guys
I
are
didn't
just like
realize that he
taking
was
this
a
at face
troll, Clay. What's
value.
wrong with you? God.
I'm trying to follow
Why?
the logic. What's specific?
Yeah, you did that to yourself. It was only a matter of time.
You guys indulged that for so long.
Thank you, Savage
Love
Red,
you,
for doing what
Andy. That was
everyone wanted.
hilarious.
Based Andy.
Yeah, so essentially, if people don't have abortions, typically
He's
the
gonna
baby
eat 'em.
lives. Do we have a stat on how many babies die post birth had the mother chosen not to do is that even a thing?
Well,
No, I
no,
don't-
what we do
Well,
have
there's
we
the
have the
song
stats
Brenda's
of
Got a
infant
Baby by
mortality in the
Tupac.
states that banned abortion, and it went up by
Barrespective, that
0.25%.
was fucking hilarious.
Say that one more time, Stillborn.
I
We
don't
have
know how
the
they
stats
could
for
film for that for so
mortality,
long.
both pre and post states banning abortion, and in those 14 states, the infant mortality increased by 0.25.
And now is that
For
by like natural causes or
It was just infant mortality by natural causes usually.
oh,
They didn't
well,
specify whether it was natural causes, but I'm assuming that's what it was. I'm
I
totally
mean, there's a
assuming that,
difference,
but-
I'd say, between mortality and like murder,
Don't-
right?
Yeah, I
Dude,
think that would be- I
Parasective,
think
these
that would
people
be
are
baby.
so stupid. Like I swear to
Maybe
God,
that
I
dude's
could
gonna- maybe
have,
they're not
I could
including that
make
dude
like
eating the babies, I guess. I
speakeasy
don't
right
fucking know.
now.
It's really
Indulge
weird.
like a
Can't really
5-minute logical train about
that's
how
happened in
tattoos
every area
are
of
actually like
humanity since the
poisoning
dawn of time,
babies,
right?
and therefore he is like anti-baby
Like,
by
yeah,
having
I mean, like,
tattoos, and like any
postpartum
children that he has are
depression,
like he's
postpartum,
condemning to
you know,
death,
Yeah,
and he's
people murder
psychologically
each
like
other
he would
so
just
should
listen
we
to me
take
and
away
believe
murder laws?
this for
No,
like
no, no,
minutes
no.
on end.
Well,
These
hold
people are
on,
just
though.
dumb.
That I just said that, like, yeah, sometimes people do kill their kids.
Well,
That
even at
doesn't-
that,
I'm not gonna do that.
postpartum
It's
can
so
happen
stupid.
to
It's too
any
stupid.
mother, whether she wanted
you go
baby,
on with
didn't
it.
want baby, is in perfect
You
conditions
guys have to make up
have
a chemical
baby
in
or
tattoo
not.
ink right now.
Uh,
really
That
postpartum
sounds
is
like something I can pronounce, but he wouldn't be able to look up.
what's that?
There's a really strong correlate with a woman's iron levels.
Oh, really?
Pre-birth, because if you're low iron after you've given birth, it's actually really hard on your body to try and like regenerate all the blood loss and stuff, and all the stuff you
Mhm.
lost in the placenta. So there actually is a strong correlate with iron levels in postpartum depression.
Interesting.
At least that was something that was told me by
Bluesby,
that was something that was told me by
Voyasil,
my
like
OBGYN.
like Poisil Poi,
Women that are just
Alden's
kids,
chemical.
Like, and ketamine might decrease postpartum depression and psychosis.
Caro traps.
Yeah, I don't know. I know.
Some more iron, and you're like, let's give him fucking drugs. What's wrong?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know enough about it, but I do know that it's something that can happen. You know, with like no warning, no nothing. You could just go into pregnancy, go into labor, perfectly happy and excited, and a baby comes out and is put in your arms, and you have no positive feelings whatsoever. It's very possible.
I'll just say
it happens,
isoleucine. I can remember that one.
You know, and I don't know if I don't think
Farta.
it's a woman problem per se. I think it's what you were saying. Like it has something to do with the body. The body does weird things, especially postpartum.
I want you guys to know I hate animated effigy screen as it's just going from like the Death Star to a swirly face. I don't want. It's not consistent. I don't like it.
All right, I think that's got to be it for me. I'm losing.
She draws me
Thank you for
in.
having me
She
on,
leaves
Sarah.
early. She comes late. Bye,
No,
Charlie.
she just made it past the 2-hour
Oh
mark.
my God, I'm so soy pill. Do you want me to wait for
No,
you
no,
until
no,
you're
no,
ready
no,
to go?
it's fine.
Are
It's
you
fine.
done?
It's fine. It's
Were you
fine. It's fine. I didn't even want you to be here. I signed up for this before I even knew you were on it.
I'm sorry. I'll hang out. I'll hang out until you're
No,
done.
it's fine.
I'll
You
hang
can
out until you're
leave.
done.
It's fine. It's not like a woman fine. It's a man fine. It's fine. You can leave.
He actually means what he's saying.
I actually mean what I'm saying. I'm not a lying bitch, as Speakeasy would
Alright.
say.
Thank you, Soy Pill, for doing this with me. So short notice.
You're welcome.
I did not know that almost every man I know that debates has feelings about abortion. So I appreciate you. Thank you. I asked like 4 people, and they were all like,
Oh, cool. So I'm Plan E. Great. Thanks.
I don't know. It's just.
I was giving you shit. I'm complaining about you asking. I'm complaining about you not asking. It's fine.
Oh my God, nightmare. All right, thank you for having me on, Sarah.
You're most welcome. Thank you,
Goodbye,
Charlie.
Sarah. Bye.
Have a good evening.
I have a
Publicly
question.
admit that soy pill is like last resort.
Yeah, she went through a few things.
No, she just
trying to
knows.
figure
She
this
knows.
out.
She knows
So
how I
actually,
feel
there's a
about
last resort. Okay.
You know what's funny is you, Ryan, you were gonna be my first choice, but I gave her the ability to find a partner first, and I said if you can't find anyone, let me know. And you were my first choice to have, but she went through her system and landed on soy pill, so you know.
Yeah, I see how it is, Charlie. It's fine. Look.
Premonition News says in the 70s, women did not have postpartum depression.
Postpartum depression, I think he's trying to say.
I actually.
Is that also? Are you not allowed to say
pardon?
partum?
Ryan, that sounds really fake. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, this sounds like ridiculous.
Sir, could I ask
There's
a
a lot of
favor?
stuff.
Could you
Real
swap
quick,
me with
there's a lot of
Ryan?
stuff-
Could you swap me with
What?
Ryan? I feel like it would be
Oh.
more appropriate for him to be where I'm at. Thank you.
January
so
6th
much.
blues.
Thank you.
Where are you getting that from, Hilbert?
I think there's a lot of data that people cite from like the 70s and earlier. Like, I mean, like data collection on a lot of things has changed, like massively. Like, I don't know if we should we can take like pre-70s.
Oh my God, I get it.
I do
Hilbert.
agree with Ryan a
Postpartum
little
Like,
bit
it's
on that.
2025, you know.
Yeah,
like-
it's after
agree with Ryan on that,
you
like,
you lose all
what
your
was that,
jail
like,
buddies after you were locked
I
up
think it
for
was
the
in the early 20s or
insurrection.
something like that. Like, the
I
best
miss my
treatment
jail
for,
friends.
Hysteria was fumigation of the vagina.
That still
According to
works,
all the
actually.
studies, that's what we had.
My God.
I have a question. I
Savage
have a
Red
question real quick.
says,
Oh, okay, go
hold. China deleted baby girls for a long time. Not really who we should take advice from, how they treat women. Ooh. Shots fired.
Fair. They did kill
I
a
agree,
lot
we
of
shouldn't
babies.
force
Says the
people to
guy
get
who
abortions. We should allow
said
them
that Texas had 600,000 births in 2024 when they didn't.
Go ahead.
Oh yeah, no, I had a question for
Say that
Speakeasy.
data's
I don't know
not
if you know this, Speakeasy, but this is something I've been looking into. But like, if you have tattoos, you do have a heightened like level of isoleucine in your blood, which can cause birth defects, if not miscarriages. And like, have you taken that into account when you're trying to build a family?
Really? I didn't know that.
How does it influence
Well,
autism?
I mean, I have 7 kids. They're doing just good.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Boy's a fucking champ out here.
Oh wow. Well, maybe you're just like dodging all the
got
negative
4
effects
very
of the
strong,
tattooing,
very
but that's
intelligent
amazing.
offspring. I got lots of tattoos.
Your last name Walton?
Walton?
Yeah, the Waltons.
No.
The Waltons. Jim Bob. What is it? Mary Ellen? Mary Ellen. Or Mary.
Guys, I might have to take it
No.
out. I don't think he was
Mary-
falling for it. I think he
Good
could
night,
tell I was
Mary
trolling,
Ellen.
but
Good
he,
night.
he
Good night,
didn't
John
take the
Boy.
bait.
Yeah,
Good
John
night.
Boy,
But he did
Yeah.
do the
Premonition
baby
News
eating
says, Ryan, you
person.
were not there. I am a
Maybe I'm just
grandma.
dumb.
No
I'm not dumb
depression.
enough.
Okay, well, I appreciate that your
That's just
person takes
anecdotal,
care of you.
unfortunately.
I appreciate that
Yeah.
the caretaker is letting you donate to Sarah's channel. That's very kind of them, and I am happy that you can be here to get your entertainment in your final years.
The caretaker.
Holy shit, did Ryan just pull an Andrew Wilson of get your husband's credit card out and send us fucking money?
I'm extremely ageist, but yeah, I'll see you guys in 10 minutes.
All right.
I'm looking at stats here that say that people were diagnosed with postpartum depression in the 70s.
Yeah, I had a feeling that was the case. Whether or not it increased or decreased, I have no idea, but I just didn't feel
It might have just not been like a well-known thing. Like, you know, we have the internet, we have like way more touch points around the world. So this is in our face all the time. Everything that happens is in our face. Like, don't take Tylenol when you're pregnant. Like, it's in our face. So I think in terms of the 70s, that just might have not been something that
Sorry,
people
guys.
really talked
I
about.
tried.
Like, number one, that's not really bragging rights to be like, yeah, I hated my baby when I had it. Let's talk about it.
Maybe I went too
and
smart.
number two, it just
I shouldn't have
like,
made up a real brought like
I wouldn't
a real
find
chemical
studies of that
structure
to
in. I
be
should have
something
said
that
like
people would be like going and digging into.
hat skill babies.
But Sarah,
It's-
don't
you
you know
keep
that
it-
Big Sav's not real. It's just a mind state.
I don't know, Sarah. Actually, I don't think anyone had autism pre-70s. The people that had all the train sets in the like basement and all that, that was just like really like trains.
I think
That's true. I
noticed
was
that
stunned by him having
Tylenol
7
was,
children.
They dropped all of their stocks in the toy train company.
Oh my God. All right, Fredo, bring something up.
Oh, well, I like to dispel Soy Pill's notion that you have to look at the national average as opposed to states, because whenever a state makes the law, then if it's effective in the state, what happens on the national is irrelevant.
Yeah, I don't know if you weren't listening to the whole debate, but it
No, I
absolutely
heard
is
the whole
relevant
debate.
if the
I heard
numbers go up
everything
in
you
the
said.
surrounding states. It's also relevant as to what degree of effectiveness it is. So, for example, it could reduce the abortions, but not by a significant amount.
I'd like you to tell
especially
me
if-
how it's
The
relevant.
issue is there are groups like the Brigade Alliance who will actually book, coordinate, and pay for travel expenses, and childcare, serving as a single trusted point of contact for every step of the journey. Wherever someone needs to get abortion care in the U.S., we find a way to get them there. So if the culture allows for alliance groups to organize and pay for travel for people that wouldn't be able to in these states that it's illegal, then it doesn't matter that it's illegal in those states, because people can just go to these alliance groups and
Yeah, so that has no relevancy to the laws being effective within that state, because within that state, the abortions went down, right? So you paying for them to go to a different state and the numbers staying the same doesn't fucking matter. The law is still effective, which is the prompt of the debate.
well, it's not effective because they will just
Did the
go
abortions
to
go
these
down in the
alliance
state or not?
groups.
Did the abortion go down or not? In the
Did the
state
abortions go down
Yeah,
for
but
the
that's not
people
what
who
the
are from the
prompt
state?
was. The prompt
In the-
wasn't
in
if
the
it
law.
went, if it's effective in the state. The prompt was if it's effective. So if they're able to
Is the-
travel
okay, if
elsewhere,
the
and
state-
Parasective, you can come back on. I
Yeah,
bet you
so
can get
why
away
are
with
you
another
comparing
troll.
places
Be my
that
silencer.
don't have
Be
the
my
law to know
ward,
if
my
it's
guard dog.
effective? That's just stupid.
If the
Yeah, hold on, hold on a
state
second.
passes the law,
No, the
within
point
juris-
is
no,
these
I
laws in
need you
place
to listen.
aren't being effective because there are other places that the laws are not in place.
Did they have to go to
They
a different
are
state to
effective
get it?
because within the jurisdiction that the law was passed in, the abortions lowered, which means that it is effective. Are you dumb?
Did it stop the abortion? Are you dumb?
Doesn't matter. It affected it.
So I guess this is where defining the effectiveness needs to come out of. Did it stop the abortion, or did it just like dissuade it elsewhere, right? And which one would you determine to be
Thank you for
effective,
giving me the best
or
laugh
is
of the
one
night,
more
Parasective.
effective
It
than
was
the
hilarious.
other,
Well, the
right?
increased birth rate would indicate that some of the women that would have got abortions actually didn't, and didn't travel out of state, didn't order pills. They just went through with their pregnancy.
Right, guys, to be clear, his definition of effective is anything
Hold
greater
on.
than
I
one.
have a follow-up question to that then, Speaky. Did Texas, I think we're talking about Texas, right? Did Texas have a large surge in people like kind of migrating there, moving there, coming over for? I know California had the big exodus into Texas. Where did the marriage rates increase during that same year? Was there something in the water? Like it's kind of like the correlation, not causation thought process, because just because the birth rate is higher doesn't necessarily mean the abortion rate is lower. Like it's because of the lack of abortions. Does that make sense? Because it doesn't like. Do you know how we have a lot of babies in the spring, right? Okay, well, why do we
Exodus
have
is
them all in
good,
the
Devin.
spring
I
or
like that
summer, or what's the most the month that most people have babies, right? Is it just a thing, or maybe this year was just a different year? Maybe there was just prior to that, the people that
so
were
distracted
in
by
that
this AI
age
guy.
group were doing very specific things that like led to this whole. They all got married the same year, and they all decided to have babies together.
Yeah, Alex, I get
That's what
you're
I'm
trying to
asking.
say,
The laws are
What's
only as
that?
effective as enforcement, right? And
I do agree with
enforcement
that,
is only possible if the culture allows for it. So right
also,
now, the
your
culture is
group is
divided.
What
breaking the
that
law.
you just
cult-
mentioned, we would just classify this
That's
as child
illegal.
trafficking, and then
That's
boom,
illegal.
we'd
You
set-
can't
let's see how many
pay
people are
for
going to
somebody
keep
to go
paying
have the
for
abortion in another
out of
state.
country abortions
Right,
when
but
we
if no
consider
one
it
is
child
enforcing
trafficking.
a law, then
I can't hear any of you. I can't hear any of you.
That's a great point, Speakeasy. Yes. So when
Guys,
you're,
I think I'm
when
going to
you're
dip out
talking
at
about
9, and then
running
we can
children,
have a chat. Maybe we'll do it.
That's
You guys want
effectively
to do
what
a
it is.
geography
People
quiz?
who
Should we learn where all the 50 states
who
are?
are
I
now
don't
going to
remember all
have
of those.
children. You're going to take them across state lines to have an abortion. That's a Mann Act.
Yeah, whatever your group is doing is illegal.
No, it's not.
But you see, I would argue the
Yeah,
statistics don't
That
matter.
point is
But
still
we would
considered
we would
part of
make it
her body.
illegal. We would make it illegal for you to pay, because if it was a nationwide ban and this group still wanted to act and fly them to a different country or something, we would consider this child trafficking and they would be put under the law. And I bet you those
and
groups would
Oklahoma,
stop
it's
doing
illegal.
that.
If
In
enforced,
Texas,
if the culture doesn't allow for enforcement, then the
Culture
law
doesn't
will
allow
just
for
be
enforcement. What
Dubious
do you mean?
gal,
Right.
hi,
Well,
first of all.
Got
Second of
it.
all, I think he was lying about having 7 kids.
There are certain laws that are not enforced.
Okay.
I would say
but it's
even
the
more
threat
so if you had it to where
Yeah,
you
that's
cannot,
true.
if you had it to where you can't cross state lines, like if the states that did not have abortion, like anti-abortion laws in place, if they said, okay, you can get an abortion here in this state, but only if you're a state resident, now that would be more effective, because that will prevent other residents of other states, unless they had, like, they were military or there was they go to school there or something like that. But you could do that to enforce the effectiveness of other states' laws.
Right. This is why I brought up, like, if
Thank you, Starch Martin.
we have to look
Starch
at
Man
what's
for $5. I don't know
happening
if
in
it's
the
effective at
states
bringing
to
out
know
the
what would
church vote
happen
and
if we
trampling our
made every
constitution.
state
Yeah,
a
absolutely. And I think
ban.
that abortion
You can't
wasn't
just say,
even
well,
this
the
major
state next
issue
door
in a
gets
lot of
a
different countries
rise
for
in
a very long,
abortion.
or a lot of different
If the
states
state
until it was
next
kind of
door
like
wasn't there, your
brought up
argument for the
and
state next
amplified in the
door
70s and 80s. But I'd have to go look into
So
that.
now contend with that, because that would be an anti-abortion law. Just like
We don't know what would
deeming
happen.
people trying to fly people
Actually,
out
we
of
do.
countries for abortions, and deeming this child trafficking an anti-abortion law. Not allowing these drugs to be sent through the mail, anti-abortion laws. These would all logically reduce abortions. Like, I don't know how I just don't even know how the other side even tries to argue this. It makes no sense.
Well, because the question is, are you actually stopping the abortion, or are you just pushing it onto another state? And so if you find it to be effective by stopping the abortion within your state, then yeah, that's effective. But are you preventing the abortion altogether? Maybe not.
Like we've been
So if you look
saying,
at
in
areas
states
with drug
that
culture, just
stop
because there are
abortion,
drug laws
I'm
does
sorry
not
that your
stop
sentence
drugs,
began in the
right?
center of
So-
mine. So in states that legalize abortion, they have laws against traveling to other states to start abortions. So that it's a non-issue. And like Speakeasy said, if
No,
all
are they
states
effective? Are they effective? Just because the laws are in place, that's not what
This
the
is all
problem
because they
is.
won't
So
take
the
a definition of
argument that you
effective,
have
by
to
the way.
contend
There are
with,
these groups.
the argument you have to
There are these
contend
groups
with,
still operating then obviously it's not as effective as you're
And
saying.
if it was illegal,
Is
if
it
it was
operating
illegal
in the
every
state where it's
state,
banned?
if it
Is
was
that where
illegal
it's
in
operating?
every
Place
state,
does not mean that things are going to be shut off, right? So there's laws in place for plenty of drugs in America. There's lots of drugs in America, right? So cocaine's
I
against
think
the law.
Fabian would say
A
that
lot
the
of
age
people
of
do
consent
cocaine.
should be raised to, what did you say,
Dealing
25? I thought
prescription
that was
drug
actually a very
warrants,
based answer.
it's still enforced, but people are
Just
still
because
doing
should
it,
we make
right?
cocaine
So
legal
yes,
because people still do it?
you are right. You are right. As soon as there's an enforcement, there could be a drought and people will stop doing it. I concede to that. You're correct, right? But that relies on enforcement, and enforcement relies on culture. So if the
No, it
Does
culture
doesn't.
doesn't
abortion
allow,
violate the NAP?
it does. It
No, it
does.
doesn't.
If you believe the
Absolutely
child
does
is
not.
Because you
a
need
person,
people to
they have their own
enforce
NAP,
it.
right?
Yeah, you need. Yeah, so if
Waking me
let
up
ask
from
you
my
something.
nap
In
violates
the
the
state of
NAP,
Michigan,
radical.
adultery is actually
coder.
a felony.
Do you have
know
a channel
that?
coder? Everyone should go subscribe to Ryan. He's based.
Nobody gets charged for felonies when they cheat on their wife or husband.
1,000 subscribers.
But if it was the case that the governor
AI
and, you know,
thumbnails.
the district
Look at this,
attorney of
guys.
the
Look
state
at
or
this
whatever,
bullshit.
prosecuting attorney
Ryan,
of the
what are
state
you
decided
doing?
they were going to start
You
enforcing
got a
that
fucking
law.
AI
Do
soy
you need the
pill
cops to start
here.
enforcing that?
Atrocious.
They might.
You didn't do an AI
because they're
Charlie.
getting
Does
paid
that
to,
depend on the
right?
culture?
Guys,
though, or
everyone
can it just
unsubscribe
depend
from
on
Ryan.
the prosecuting
Well, it
attorney?
does.
Go
It does.
subscribe
And
to him.
another point
Why
is
does it depend on the culture? Then when it's up to one guy, you can just say, "Yeah, start enforcing that again."
because that person is a citizen, and he was voted in by other citizens
Of that state? Oh,
of that
And
state.
that
I know
one
this is a heated
citizen
moment.
is
Sarah, I have
of
to
the
head
state.
out.
You
I love you.
have to
Thank
be
you.
voted in on that
Okay,
president.
look,
Hold
I got a
on.
question
Hold
to
the
put to the
fuck
whole panel.
on.
that
Enough.
are not
Stop.
for it.
Soy, are you leaving,
I
darling?
have to head out, Sarah. Thank you very much for
Tell
having me
everyone
and for
your
hosting.
kind goodbyes.
My kind goodbyes are, as much as we disagree, Speakeasy, I'm glad that you have 7 beautiful children, and I think your hair is actually luxurious. I think that was the biggest W I've ever seen you take. So have a
Appreciate
good
it.
one. And knowing that you are an American citizen, get the fuck out of Canada, dude. Come here, dude. We're better, okay? I've been there. It's not that great. So Steelborn, it's fun. You got a good sense of humor. And thank you again, Sarah.
Thank you, Soy. We appreciate you.
Bye.